Yeah.
This meeting is being
Yeah.
recorded.
Okay.
So that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Just okay. It's a lot to cover.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
it's not
this.
okay.
Mm,
Okay, can you go to question number one? Let's start from the top.
okay. Okay. So the question one says, as a business analyst, when you are new to the business domain, what would be your approach to understand the domain?
Actually,
Okay. So,
I can't see question number one. I can see question number 11 in your screen. 11, 12, 13, 14.
oh, really? You can't see question number one.
No, I can
Can you
see
see my
11.
screen?
I can see your screen, but it's starting from question number 11. What is
Oh,
VMI
really?
modeling? Yeah.
Can you see it now?
No.
No. Okay.
So just do one thing.
Hold on.
Stop. Yeah, share again.
Let me stop sharing, then share again. How about this?
Yeah, now I can see.
Oh, okay. All
Okay.
right, that's fine.
Okay, so the
Yeah,
question number
so
one says, as a business analyst, when you are new to the business domain, what will be your
yeah,
approach to understand the domain? Okay, see
yeah,
why I prepared this question, because from the JD that what I can see, you have not worked in that domain. Okay, whatever domain is that
yeah,
JD belongs to, you have not worked.
yeah.
So the
I've not worked
interviewer
there.
might, yeah, so the interviewer might ask you that how, as a business analyst, when you are new to the domain, okay, so how you're going to understand that domain, what will be your approach? Okay,
Okay,
so
okay,
let me read out what you have written. So as a business analyst, I believe my skills are easily transferable from one domain to another. In my years as a business analyst, I have worked on different projects across different domains. For example, in my last project, which is a new domain entirely, a learning management system, my approach was doing my research by consulting any relevant documents I can get my hands on through document analysis, arrange meetings with subject matter experts by asking open-ended questions before asking specific questions. Okay, take note of all the new things I learned as I go along so that I can always have my own reference. Network with business user, domain experts, and customers to be able to see things from their perspective. Okay, very good. Read articles and enroll for courses that teach fundamental concepts in specific domains. These were the okay. See, how you started your answer very well. Okay, as a business
okay.
analyst, I believe my skills are easily transferable, and you are telling the interviewer that this is not the first time that you are new to any domain. You have worked in different domains, and in your last project that was an entirely new domain. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's good. But what you can do here is, okay, what I would suggest.
Okay,
There are four approaches that I will suggest you. Okay, when you are
okay,
new to any domain, how to tackle that. First one is understanding the project. Okay, rather than
okay,
learning the domain. Okay, so
okay.
I would suggest first you will understand the project by looking for some project documentation, some
Mm,
SOWs, some emails. Okay, whatever the documents are there, you have mentioned that. Okay, you will do that document analysis.
okay.
That's a very good point.
Sorry to cut you. Yeah, so the project documentation, what kind of document? Is it a project initiation document?
It can be any sort of document. It can be project initiation document. It can be a business problem statement document. It can be a
Okay,
high level
mm,
requirement document. Any sort of document
okay,
that will help you to understand the project. So you will first
okay,
understand the project. Okay, so whenever we are
okay,
new to a domain, we don't go and learn the domain. Okay, because domain is
okay,
an
okay.
ocean. Okay, domain is an ocean. It can't be learned in few days or few months. Okay, it takes years to learn a
It
domain.
takes time.
Okay, and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it takes time. But rather than learning a domain, as a business analyst,
Mm.
your concentration and your focus will be on understanding
Should
the
be on the
project and how,
project. The
yes, and
project. Yeah.
how you can contribute in that project. Okay, so in
Mm.
order to understand the project, you have to first find out where is your project falling in that domain. In an ocean, where is your project falling? In which area of that domain your project is falling? So that will be your focus.
Mm.
So first, you try to understand
Okay.
that by doing some document analysis. Then you have written that you will connect with some subject matter experts. Okay, you will ask questions to them. Okay, that's very good. Okay, so this answer is very good. Okay, so first is understanding
Okay.
the project. Second is getting rid of the business terminologies. Okay, because when you are new to the domain, the business uses a lot of jargons, lot of terminologies which you are not aware of. Okay, so it's very
Okay.
important for a business analyst to get rid of those jargons. Okay, quickly, so that you are able to understand the language in which business is communicating, and you will be able to elicit the information from them. Okay, otherwise,
Okay.
if you don't understand their language, you'll not be able to understand what they are communicating, and maybe you'll not be able to get the information. Okay, so
Okay.
getting
So
rid
how do I
of the
understand?
jargons. Yeah. So how do you understand? Suppose you come across, you are doing those document analysis, and you come across those jargons, or you attend some work meetings with your customer. So they are using some language. So you note down all those terminologies or jargons that you come across. You try to search that on internet. Okay. If you're not getting any answers on internet, you try to connect with your colleagues, whoever is part of that project from a long time, and you try to get information from that. You can connect with your
Okay.
development team, you can connect with the domain expert, you can connect with the subject matter
Okay.
experts. Whoever is working in the
Mm.
project, who can help you to understand those terminologies. Because if you don't understand
Okay.
those terminologies quickly, it will be difficult for you to communicate with the business. Okay, so that should be your second
Okay.
point. Okay,
Okay.
third, I would say researching. Okay, as a business analyst, you will say that I have
Yeah.
a good researching skills. Okay, where if I don't understand anything, I'll research that on internet. Okay, I'll try to find sources where I can understand that particular topic or that particular terminology. Okay, which is
Yeah.
mentioned in the document, or which business is using. Okay, so I'll do my research. Okay, so I have a good research skills, I will do that. And last,
Okay.
making good relationship with your colleagues. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
most of the times, yeah, that's very important. Most of the times when you are new to a project, it's very important that you make a good relationship with the development team, with the testing team. Okay, with the
Mm.
solution architect. Okay, so that those are the people who will actually help you to understand the applications involved, how the data are stored in the application, how different applications are connected to each other, in order to understand the architecture of the application. Okay, so it's very important
Okay.
to make a relationship with them, and if you are stuck somewhere, you can take their help, and you can contribute in the project. So this is how you
Okay.
understand the domain. Okay, you don't learn the
Okay.
domain. So your focus is on understanding the project and how you can
The
contribute in that
project.
project quickly,
Yeah.
quickly from the day one. Okay,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
so this is how you have to answer. These are the 4 points. Okay.
Okay. Then you the way you answered it now, you answered it in like okay, like in a definition way. Yeah. But if I'm gonna be saying it in an interview, am I gonna like tell them okay that during my project, like use that star approach?
Hmm.
So I don't know if you get what I mean.
Yes, star approach
So
is situation, task, action, result. So, what you are going to say is, see, this question is not required to answer. Every question is not required to answer in star approach. Okay, first thing.
all right.
Okay. So this question you can say, I'll give you an example. When I was new to my last project, when I was
Okay.
new to that domain. So I'll tell you how I quickly understood the project, understood the domain, and how I contributed in that project. So you are going to take your last project as a reference, and you're going to say these answers.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. Now, next question.
So the next one says, hold on, just let me. Okay. How will you analyze a business document?
Okay.
So how will you analyze a business document? So
So what you
yeah.
have written, document analysis is probably my first step in eliciting requirement in one of my recent projects, which include process improvement within the customer service department to ensure customer compliance are reduced to minimum level. As a BA, I gathered documentation such as an existing business case, PID that has already been created in document. Okay, very good. Read the document to understand the process that are executed, data involved, systems and people. Instead of people, you can say stakeholders over here. Okay.
Okay. Stakeholders. Okay.
Yeah, in the next, yeah, second point. Develop in-depth questions for the project team based on my findings to gain better understanding of how the current system works and a good sense of the project, the business processes I'm supporting, and the rules, data, and stakeholders involved. Okay, so yeah, this is how that's correct. Okay, almost everything you have mentioned. So let me give you
Okay.
my answer for this. So
Okay.
again, the best thing about you is your answers always you are referring to your previous projects. Okay, so this is the best way to answer. So here also
Oh,
you'll say
okay.
that, yeah, here also you'll say that, okay, so I'll tell you how do I analyze a document in my last project. So I got this PID, or you can say business case, from the customer, or high level business problem statement from the customer. I read the document thoroughly, okay, multiple times, okay, and I tried to understand what is the business objective from that document, what is the business trying to achieve in this project, okay, what are the high level business problems that the customer is facing. Then I tried to understand if there are any applications involved, okay, so what are those applications involved, where are the
Yeah.
problems, those applications, those areas I try to find out. Then I try to find out, I try to identify the stakeholders if available in that document. Okay, so three things you do: you understand the business objective, you try to understand the
Mm.
business problem, you try to understand the business process, current business process, if that is available in the document. Okay, you have to say like
Okay.
this, and then you try to identify the stakeholders. And lastly, I prepare my questions so that I can connect with those stakeholders, and I can conduct the workshops or interview, depending upon the number of stakeholders involved, and I will try
Okay.
to elicit requirements from there. So this is how I analyze a business document. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So always,
Yeah.
always refer your previous project. Okay.
My previous
It,
project. Okay.
yeah, that shows that these things you have done in your previous project. Okay. Even if you
Mm.
have not done,
Okay.
even if you have not done, you know the theoretical answer. I will advise, always refer your last project.
All right. Okay. That makes sense. All right. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, that I'm kind of mixing these things up. Is it elicitate or elicit requirement?
Elicit.
Elicit. Okay. All right. All right. That's fine. Thank you. Yeah. So to the next question. So
Yeah.
this
How
one
many?
I didn't.
Okay, okay. Question number three. It did not make sense, but I have. I mean, I put it over here, so it's not a BA related question, but I think some
Okay.
business models was mentioned in the JD, so that's why I asked you to say how many types of business models are there. So see, there are many types of business model. Okay, like
Okay.
subscription based model. Okay, click and mortar model. Okay, if you search on internet, you will get the type of business model. Okay, and how do you evaluate a business model? You try to find out basically how your how your business model is going to cater to the customer requirement, how you're going to distribute your products, okay, how you're going to generate revenue, okay, from how
Okay.
revenue, or in the sense in the profit. So these are the things that you evaluate in a business model. Okay, so you can ignore
Okay.
this question. Okay, this question I don't think it will come. Okay, but
Okay.
if it comes, I mean, you can
Um.
ignore this. I don't know, I put
Okay.
it
That's
over
fine.
here, but you can ignore this.
So how do you elicit requirements from the customer? Which
Which technique
technique
would you use and
would you
why?
use and why? So I
Okay,
wrote in my
so
previous
again, very
role.
good. Yeah, again, very good. You started that in my previous role
Yeah.
at like, yeah, very good.
Fleet check.
I worked as a business analyst within a team where I was required to carry out requirement elicitation on a process improvement project. The project was aimed at improving the overall customer experience on the online platform. I had to work with different teams department, one of which was the customer service department. I worked with the head of customer service to understand the requirements towards the improvement of online transactions. Started by identifying the stakeholders to document analysis and working closely with the project manager. I conducted one-to-one meeting, workshop, and shadowing to elicit these requirements. I analyzed by identifying any duplication. Okay, okay. Furthermore, I had to validate the requirements by getting a sign off and confirming the. Okay, I understood. See, you started well. Okay, that in my previous role at Fleet Check, you gave a you mentioned the situation that what was the situation? Okay,
Yeah.
basically, what was the project about? So that you have mentioned. So after that, what you will say, you always start with that I received some sort of document from the customer. Okay, because you have mentioned that I did document analysis. Okay, so you have to first
Okay.
mention that I received some sort of document from those departments, or from whoever you elicited the requirement. So any from your previous project you can mention, like customer service department. So customer service department has sent us the business problem or business case or business problem statement document. Okay, so I
Okay.
first did document analysis, and whatever you said in the document analysis, same thing will come over here. You prepared your questions, you identified your stakeholders. Okay, and then
Mm-hmm.
you will say
Yeah.
the first thing that I did was, before requirement elicitation, before going to requirement elicitation, is that I tried to understand the scope of the business need. Okay, you
Of this.
first
Okay.
understand the scope. Okay,
The
that what
scope.
is in
Okay.
scope and what is out of scope. Okay,
Hmm.
so there
Okay.
are two things, okay, which is important for requirement gathering that every business analyst should have before going to requirement gathering. First
Okay.
one is your scope. That scope should be finalized. Okay, that means you have prepared the
Okay.
project scope document. Okay, and by mentioning clearly your in scope item and out of scope item, and you have taken a sign off on that scope document. So first you finalize the scope, you identify the stakeholders, and then you go to requirement gathering. Okay, and then you can say that I conducted workshops, I prepared my questions. Okay, I conducted structured interviews. Okay, and I whatever questions I prepared, I asked those questions. You can say that I from the document that I received, I created a draft document of whatever my understanding was. I
Okay.
created some process flows. Okay, and then those document I showed it to the customer. I showed the process that this is my understanding. Is my understanding correct? So here I have a question. So like that, I asked the question and I gathered the requirement. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
like that
Sorry
you have
to
to
take you
process.
back.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So on the project scope, so
Yeah,
is
go
it
ahead.
where can I find the project scope? I mean the project scope. Is it a project scope document or is it on the project initiation document? Yeah, so
No,
I'm quite
project
confused there.
project scope document is something which a business analyst prepare by conducting a meeting or workshop with the stakeholders, okay, or with the
Okay,
business.
okay.
So first thing what a business analyst do is to understand the scope of the project. Okay,
The scope
like
of the
in,
project.
yeah. So you are here you are saying that it was a process improvement project. So in this
Yeah.
project, what was required to do and what was not required to do. That means what was in scope and what was out of scope. So first you will finalize that. Okay, out of scope
Okay.
items you are not going to focus on that, your team is
All
not going to
right.
work on. In scope items are the items or the features that your team is going to work on, and in your
Okay.
requirement gathering you gather detailed requirement of these in scope features only. Okay, you don't ask questions
Okay.
related to out of scope. Okay, so scope is
Okay.
basically you are creating a boundary. Okay, that this is the boundary. Within the boundary the in scope things I'm going to work on that. Outside the boundary I'm not going to work on that. Okay, so in your previous
Okay.
project was there anything which was not required to do and which was required to do something like that, did it happen?
Yes, it happened.
Yes, so
Yeah,
you
so
have to
yeah.
mention that.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so you understood the flow. So first, before how do you gather requirement? First, you before gathering the requirement, first you try to understand and finalize the scope. You create a project scope document. You take a sign off from the customer. Then you identify the stakeholders, and then you go to requirement gathering with that scope thing. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. So in your own opinion, what do you think could be out of scope items? I mean, I just need an opinion from you. Like, what do you
Uh,
think could be out of scope items?
See, out of scope item, I can give you some examples. Like, for an example, if I give you from my project, you will not understand. Uh, Out of scope is something which is not required to do. Okay, like for an example, because you are making online a shopping portal. Okay,
Okay.
suppose for example you are making an online shopping portal, so customers requirement is to build the online shopping portal where everything will be I would say the products will be displayed on their website, and customers can the end users can basically purchase online products from their portal. Okay, suppose this is the
Yeah.
requirement. Now here the out of scope thing can be like I cash on delivery thing. Okay, that is out of scope.
Okay.
That means
Okay.
okay, so customers have to do the payment first, and then the products will be delivered to their doorstep. Okay, so
Okay.
cash on
All right.
delivery option is out of scope. So under the payment section or when they are trying to do the checkout, customers will not see the cash on delivery thing. So your team is not going to put that feature over here. That is out of scope.
Okay.
So
All
like that.
right. Okay.
Okay, like
That's
that.
fine.
Whatever is not required to do, you will mention it properly in the out of scope, and you're not going to ask questions on cash on
Based
delivery
on
when you are
that. Yeah. Okay.
when you're gathering the requirement. Why? Because that is out of scope.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So this one, how will you translate the requirement that you have gathered into a requirement document? Can you walk me through different sections that are important in a requirement document? Yeah.
Okay.
So with this one, do you want me to say anything about it? Just
See, so what you have to say is, so you will say that in my last project, in the fleet
Okay.
check, again you can take the reference. Okay, every question that you are answering, take a reference. Okay, these type of questions. Okay,
Okay.
so you'll say that
Okay.
in my last project, when I gathered the complete requirement and when I validated all the requirements with the customer, when the requirements were completely gathered, so what I did, I basically captured the textual or the verbal, whatever our discussion was. Okay, whatever was discussed in different workshops that I conducted, I captured my requirement in the form of use cases. You can say like that, in
Okay.
the form of use cases. Okay,
Use
so this
case.
is how you run use case. Yeah. So do you
Okay.
know
Yeah.
how to write a use case? No, do
Yes,
you know how to write a
I
use?
have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know. I know using Microsoft Visio. Yeah. So yeah, you use case is that interaction between the actor and the system. Yeah.
No, that is use case diagram you are saying. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So use case
Hmm.
is a way of capturing the requirement, is a writing the requirement. Okay. So
Okay.
in this question, I'll tell you a brief about use case. So use case basically, the format of use case, you have a use case ID. Okay. You give the name of the use case, you give the like use case name, then you give the use case description, what this use case is about. Okay, then you mention the actors, who are the primary actors, who are the secondary actors. Then you mention the precondition in order to execute this use case, what are the pre conditions that needs to be satisfied. Then you mention the post condition after this use case gets executed, what will happen. Okay, then you mention the
Okay.
main flow. In the main flow you mention all the steps that a actor will uh, uh, do when they are interacting with this use case. Okay, like for an example, registration is a use case. Okay, building a registration page, suppose that is a use
Okay.
case. Okay? So you will give a use case ID like UC001. Okay, so don't give this registration example. Okay, what I'm trying to say, I am giving you this example. Okay, but don't give this registration example. Give an example from your project. Okay, always give an example
Okay.
from your project. Okay, so take any other use case, okay, from your project, any other functionality or feature from your project, and then explain that, okay, this is how this was the requirement. I'll give you an example. Suppose this is the requirement. Okay, what I gathered from the customer, then I captured this or translated this requirement in the form of use case. I gave the use case ID, I wrote the use case name, I wrote the use case description, the preconditions, the post conditions, the main flow, the alternate flow. Okay, yeah, so these are the different sections in the use case. Okay, so you have to answer
Yeah.
like that.
So I think I'm getting confused now. So which one is the epic? Epic and user stories.
See,
So
epic and user stories are comes into a picture when you are working in an agile project. Okay, when you are
okay.
following the Scrum framework, then epic and user stories comes into a picture. But when you are working in waterfall model, there you capture your requirement in the form of use cases.
Okay. Okay. Because this company they are agile. So yeah. The reason
Okay.
being, yeah.
Okay.
So if I want to do this,
If it is agile, then what you can say, how do you translate the requirement that you have gathered into a requirement document? See, uh, if it is an agile thing, first of all, requirement document will not come. Okay, requirement
it will not
documents are
come. Yeah.
prepared. Yeah, requirement documents are prepared in waterfall model project. Okay, so this question should
Okay.
not come. Okay, but
All right. Okay.
if you want to refer your previous project as an agile, then you can say, if they ask you this question, you can say, I in my previous project I was working in an agile environment, agile methodology. Okay, so there we were not preparing requirement documents. There we were preparing the product backlog. I was preparing the product backlog in the form of epics and user stories. Okay, so I was
Okay.
writing the
Okay.
epics. Okay, so how do you translate the requirements? You translate the requirements in the form of epics, and then you break down those epics into small user stories. Okay.
Oh yes. Yeah.
So like that
Okay.
you can say, in my previous project I have done like that. But if they want to
Oh, okay.
understand from waterfall model, then you can say
Okay.
you can say that you can give the example of your previous company. Okay. So you
Okay.
can say,
Okay. Okay.
in my last company I was working under agile methodology, but in my previous company I was working under waterfall, so that
Oh,
the interviewer will think that okay, you have worked in both agile and waterfall.
yeah.
So you can say,
Yeah.
I was working in waterfall, I used to capture the requirement in the form of use cases.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. And the second part
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
question, can you walk me through different sections that are important in a requirement document? Okay. So what are the
Okay.
different sections that are important in a requirement document? You can say the project objective, the project description, okay, the current
Okay.
process, okay, which is as is process, the future
Okay.
process, that is the to be process, then process flow diagrams, UML diagrams, then use cases, okay, capturing both functional and non-functional requirement. Okay, so those are the important sections in a requirement document. Okay, mention the
Okay.
diagrams. The diagrams are different sort of diagrams are important. Okay, you can say process flow diagram, you can say UML diagrams, and then you can say that requirements are important in a requirement document. Okay, in the form of use cases.
Okay. Okay. That's
Okay,
fine. Thank you. Yeah.
yeah. Question number 6.
So after you have gathered requirement from the customer, what will be the next step that you take as a BA?
Translate the business requirement to technical requirement, which includes functional and non-functional requirement. Analyze the requirement, breaking down into epics, user stories, and acceptance solutions. Smart No, no. Yeah, last point is
Okay.
very good. What you have written. Validate requirements with key stakeholders. Okay, so once you have gathered the requirement from the customer, the next step as a BA is to start your analysis on those requirements. Okay. Now, how do you
Oh,
analyze
okay.
your requirement? You analyze your requirement uh, uh, by converting your requirements into different form of diagrams. Okay, you create process flow diagrams. Okay, you
Okay.
can say that I created BPM and diagrams. Okay, and I try to
Okay.
visualize my requirements in the form of BPM and diagrams. I try to create. Um, was there any database prepared, created, designed, something like that? Was there any database involved in your last project?
No, no database involved.
No database. So you can say that after gathering the requirement, I do my analysis of the requirement by creating process flow diagrams. Okay, I
Okay.
try to visualize my requirement, and once I have done my analysis, I present my diagrams. Okay, my visual analysis that I have done to my customers, and I try to validate the requirement. The last point that we have written.
Okay.
Okay, so analysis and validation is the next step that you do after gathering the requirement.
Oh, okay. 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 That makes sense.
Okay, not breaking down into
Okay.
epics and user stories. Okay.
Oh, okay. So when does breaking down into epics and user stories
It will come after
comes in
that.
place?
Once you have
After.
validated your requirements, okay, then when you create the product backlog, then at that time you write down epics and user stories. But before that, analysis
Oh,
and validation.
okay. Okay. That's fine. All right. Yeah. So how do you analyze the requirement that you have gathered?
Okay, so this
So
question I have answered in the form of various diagrams. Okay, you create process flow diagrams. You can
yeah.
say BPMN. Okay, that I use BPMN, or you can say I
Yeah.
used flowcharts. Okay, anything whatever you are comfortable. I know how
Okay.
to create
Okay.
flowcharts. So by creating the flowcharts, I try to analyze the requirement, the process from start to end, like that.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Okay.
Okay.
So number 8, how and
How
why?
and why do you validate requirements gathered? Okay. So how do you validate requirements? So first question is how. So by conducting walkthrough sessions. Okay. But that means you conduct meetings with your customer, and whatever diagrams that you have prepared, okay, you show those diagrams to your customer, and
Okay.
you basically validate that whether my understanding is correct or not. Whatever we discussed in a requirement gathering session. So this is how this is the visual look that the requirements will look like. This is the process. This is how it will start. These are the steps that will execute. Okay, and this is how the process will end. So I try to convert those textual thing, whatever we discussed, in the form of diagrams, and I try to validate the diagrams by giving a walkthrough of all the diagrams what I prepared. So this is how I validate the requirement.
Okay. So you said diagrams. What about the other, I mean the like writing, the ones I've written, the requirement that I wrote.
The purpose, the
Yeah. So
pur-
how?
so requirements you write after you validate the requirements. After when you have analyzed and validated the requirements, then you go and write the requirements. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, now I get.
First
Okay.
you
Okay.
first you have a discussion. No, you are gathering the requirement. You have a lot of discussion. Okay. See,
Yeah,
I'm not saying
gather
you don't write
requirement.
anything. I'm not saying you don't write anything during requirement gathering. You prepare a draft version. Okay. That this is what
Okay.
all the things that have been discussed. Okay. You prepare those things, but that is not a requirement document. Okay. That's a kind of a discussion. Whatever you had, you have drafted it somewhere. Okay. And now you are trying to analyze those things, whatever. So like suppose it says that okay, this is how the customer will get onboarded. Okay. And customers
Yeah.
will complete these steps. Okay. And then they will be able to do this, then they will be able to do that. So how you are going to analyze it? You are going to analyze it in the form of process flow diagrams. Okay.
All
So
right.
you
Okay.
first do those things, you get it validated whether your understanding is correct or not, whatever you have gathered, and then you write down the requirements in the requirement documentation stage. There you write it
Okay.
down properly.
All right. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay? And why do
All
you
right.
validate the requirements? The second question is why. Okay, how you understood why do you validate the requirements? In order to ensure that requirements, whatever I have gathered, is complete and correct. Okay, two
I'm
C's we have
correct.
to say.
Okay.
Okay, two C's.
Okay. Two
Complete
C's,
and
complete
correct.
and correct.
Yes, that's why you
Okay.
validate the requirements. Don't forget these things. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So number 9, before you move to requirement gathering stage, what are the important things as a BA you would ensure you have?
Yeah, just now I answered in the previous questions. You should have your scope finalized and you should have all the information about the key stakeholders. Those are the two things that you should ensure that uh, you should have before you move to requirement gathering stage.
Okay, so all the information like about the key, about managing the stakeholders, is that what you mean?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right.
Scope and the information about key stakeholders.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So that's when we're talking about the engagement
Yes,
level, stakeholder matrix,
yes,
yeah, and the
yes.
communication plan. Yeah, okay, that's fine. All right. So, what is your understanding about SDLC? How many phases are there in SDLC? Could you briefly explain the role of BA in each phase of SDLC? Sorry.
Okay. So what is SDLC?
Yeah, it's software development life cycle. So that
Very good.
it's
Mhm.
yeah, it shows I mean the different stages of which softwares are being developed right from the feasibility state to when it's being deployed to production environment.
Okay, okay. So software SDLC basically stands for Software Development Lifecycle. So it is a framework designed in order to develop a software or an application successfully. Okay, which meets
Okay.
the end user needs. Okay. Now, how many stages are there? So there are 7 stages in software development lifecycle. It starts with the planning stage, then analysis, then design, development, testing, deployment, and maintenance and support. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So these are the 7 stages. What is the 7 stages? Planning, analysis, design, development, testing,
Development,
deployment,
testing and
okay,
deployment, maintenance.
and maintenance and support. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, could you briefly explain the role of BA in each phase of the SDLC? Okay, you should have, when you are a BA, you should have the understanding that what is the role of BA in each phase of SDLC. So, in the planning phase, okay, so I'll explain
Yeah.
you briefly. In the planning stage, yeah, basically, planning stage is a stage where the project gets initiated. Okay, it gets started. Okay, so in the
Yeah.
planning
Yeah.
stage, business analyst together with the project manager, okay, uh, initiates the project. Okay, do the estimation.
Yeah.
Okay, that how many resources will be required, how much timeline it will take. Okay, to complete the project. So those kind of estimation you do with the project manager. Then you connect with the customer to understand the scope of the project. Okay, so that
Okay.
happens in the planning stage.
The
And
planning
what is the
stage. Okay.
Yeah. What is the output of the planning stage? Your scope document is finalized, okay, and your team is ready.
Okay.
Your estimation is ready. Your team is ready. Okay.
Okay.
That is planning. Now, in the analysis stage, what you do? In the analysis stage, you start identifying the key stakeholders in the project. Okay. You
Okay.
try to map the stakeholders according with the key
Power and interest.
RACI metrics. Okay, if you remember RACI
Okay.
metrics. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you try to map the responsibilities of the stakeholder with the high
Yeah.
level deliverables of the project. And after that, in the analysis stage, you connect with the customers and you try to gather the detailed requirements. Okay.
Okay.
So that is the analysis. So what is the output of analysis stage? You get the information about all the key stakeholders and you get all your requirements. Okay.
Okay.
Now, then comes the design stage. Now, in the design stage, BA starts with the analysis of the requirements, validate those requirements with the customer, create different diagrams. Okay, during the analysis. Okay,
Okay.
and once your requirements are finalized, okay, uh, you start documenting those requirements. Okay, and
Okay.
after the documentation, you again take a sign off of this document. Okay, and how do you
Okay.
take a sign off? You conduct a workshop again and you give a walkthrough of the requirement document that you have prepared, and then you send it the document to the customer and you ask for a sign if everything is okay. Okay.
Okay.
So what is the output of design stage? Your screen designs are ready. Okay, maybe if designs needs to be done, so designing team is there. So you whatever requirements, when you validate your requirements, you give those requirements to the designing team. The designing team come up with mock-ups. Okay, with the screen
Yeah.
designs. Okay, and you document those requirements. So output is your requirement document is ready in the design stage. Okay.
Okay.
Now, development stage. What is the
So
role of a
sorry if it
BA?
is
Hmm.
sorry if it is an in agile environment. So
Hmm. So
how
if
are
it
we
is
going
in
to do
the
that?
if it is in the agile environment, so your planning stage is the what I would say again in agile also you first the product owner first starts with a first define the project vision statement. Okay, that what is the vision of the
Okay.
project. So that all things happens in the planning stage. Okay, and again you try identify the scrum master who will be the scrum master in the project, and you form a development team, scrum team, which we say, okay, who are going to work in this project. So
Okay.
all those things happens in the planning stage. Okay, and
Okay.
you understand the scope of the project. Okay, all those things you are doing in
Yeah.
agile
Yeah.
also, that is planning. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Then in the analysis stage, okay, you gather the requirement. Okay, product owner gather the requirement from the customer. Okay, so that is again
Yeah.
analysis, whatever we have discussed. And design stage, you create the product backlog. Okay, your product backlog is
Okay.
ready. Okay, then what happens? Your sprint starts. Okay, when your sprint starts,
Oh,
again in the sprint, you do sprint planning. Okay, you do sprint planning.
okay.
Okay, in the sprint planning meeting, what happens? The development team comes, they see the product owner discloses the backlog to them. Okay, that this is the
Yeah.
backlog,
Yeah.
this is the requirement. The development team basically they pick that how many user stories they can develop in this sprint. Okay, so they decide that development team. Okay, and that becomes the sprint backlog. Okay, that becomes the
Okay.
sprint backlog. Okay, so there again, so sprint planning is your again the planning that you're doing. Okay, then analysis
Yeah.
happens, okay, of that sprint backlog. Okay, whatever they have to do, then design, development, testing, deployment, all those things happen in the sprint only. So in every
Okay.
sprint, okay, your planning, analysis, design, development, testing, deployment happens. That's why it is agile is an iterative and incremental way of delivering a product. Okay, why
Okay.
iterative? Because your SDLC is being repeated in sprints. Okay, in the next sprint
Experience. Okay.
again, yeah, again all the
We repeat
SDLC
the same.
cycles will be repeated. Yeah, whereas in waterfall it happens once only. That's why it is called linear sequential. Okay, waterfall is called
Okay.
linear sequential, agile is called iterative and incremental. Okay, that is the reason.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So in waterfall, yeah, you're explaining the waterfall aspect now. Yeah.
Hmm.
Before I
So
cut
in
you off with the agile.
Yeah. So in development stage, what happens? So BA has a secondary role. Okay. Who has the primary role? Primary role is with the developers. So because they are going to
All right.
develop, they are going to check the requirement document. They are going to check the screen designs, whatever the designers have prepared, and they are going to start their development. Now the role of a BA
Okay.
over here is to assist the developers in clarifying any queries if they have. Okay. So
Okay.
they basically clear the queries if they are having anything related to the requirement, if they are not understanding anything, something like that happens. If they have any questions, so you just clarify them. So that's you have a secondary role as a BA. Okay.
Okay.
Then again, the testing stage, primary role is with the testers, with the testing team. Okay.
Okay.
What a role you play? You play a role in clarifying their queries also, if they have anything related to requirements. Okay, understanding the requirements. Second, you ensure that for every requirement, okay, uh, the test cases are prepared. Basically, every requirement is tested. So you ensure that as a business analyst. And
Okay.
then you give a UAT to the customer. UAT is nothing but user acceptance testing. Okay. It's a demo
Okay.
that you give to the customer. Okay. That this is what we have prepared. Okay. You are giving a demo to the customer. Okay. So
Okay.
that is so in the testing stage, you understood what is the role of a BA. Again, it's a secondary role. They are testing it, but you are ensuring that every requirements are tested. You are ensuring that UAT happens properly, and you get a sign off for that UAT. Okay, and you are
Okay.
clarifying their queries. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
And
Yeah.
then in deployment stage, what happens once the testing is okay? Then those requirements are deployed. Again, you don't have a primary role over here. You just monitor that everything is getting deployed properly. You connect with the development team. You take the status from them. Okay, that when the deployment is going to happen. Do you need anything from my side? Okay, do you need any kind of approvals? Okay, because there are different approvals and it differs from project to project. Okay, some requires a
Okay.
BA sign off, some requires a UAT sign off. So those sign offs you take from the customer. That is the responsibility of a BA. So whatever is required from the deployment perspective, whatever the developers ask you, so you just provide them. Okay.
Okay.
And
All
when the
right. That's
deployment
okay.
happens, that is then comes the maintenance and support stage. Maintenance and support stage is a stage where again BA has a primary role where you have to monitor whatever is being deployed. From the next day, okay, the day when the deployment happened. So from the next day, you start monitoring whether the things are working properly or not. You connect with customers, you take their feedback. Okay, if they're having any issues in using the application or the system that you have developed or the requirements that you have developed, okay, and you try to monitor for some time. Okay, if
Okay.
anything is if everything is working fine, well and good. If anything is not working fine, you collect those things, what is not working, why it is not working. You again start with your analysis. Okay, and then you plan that how you can do these things. Okay, how you can correct these things. Okay, in the next release. Okay, or in the future
All right.
release. Okay, so this
So
is the
is that
role of
in
BA. Yeah.
okay? Is that in agile, both agile and
Yes, yes.
waterfall?
Both
All
agile
right.
and waterfall, everything is same. The only thing is, in agile, we are delivering our requirements in small sprints, whereas
It's
in waterfall, yeah,
It's a
whereas in
linear
waterfall,
approach. Yeah.
yeah, whereas in waterfall, we are doing or delivering all the requirements at one go.
That's one. All right. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So what is a project scope document? What is the most important part in the project scope document? Why do you think it is important to document scope of the project?
I already answered this question. So do you remember what I have answered?
Yeah, so he said a project scope document. So as a BA, like in my last role, yeah, so I ensured that before I start working on the project, yeah, I have to I mean clarify understand the scope of the project, yeah, by working with the project manager, yeah, to understand what is in scope and what is not in scope.
Hmm. Very good.
Yeah, yeah. So what is the most important part in this scope document? I'm not sure of that. And
The
why do
in
you
scope and
think
out of scope section. What is the most important
okay,
part in the project scope document? The in scope and the out of scope section.
the
That is
in
the most
scope and out
important.
of scope? All
Yes,
right.
that is
So
the
the in
most
scope
important.
part so the in scope are the things that will be delivered, yeah, that needs to be worked on, and the out of scope are the things that we not be talking about on the project.
Yes.
Um, Yeah, and why do you think it is important to document scope of the project? Yeah, to avoid scope creep.
Very good,
Yeah,
very good. This is the
yeah,
term that
yeah,
I was expecting. Yeah, to avoid the scope
yeah,
creep.
yeah, to avoid scope creep, to make sure that we are focused on the actual deliverables, yeah, involved in this project. Yeah.
Okay,
So I don't know if
very good.
if I've explained it well enough.
No, no, you have explained it properly.
Okay then. All right, that's yeah. Okay, so how will you present the project status and timeline to customer? So I'm not sure this. I think
See,
yeah, I'm not sure of
hmm,
this. Yeah.
yes. So no, no. You have any answer? Anything in your mind?
How I will project the project, present the project status. Yeah, it's by having meetings with the with the with the customer. Yeah, like having yeah meetings with the and on let him know the status.
No.
The
So
uh,
as an interviewer, what I'm expecting over here is Gantt chart. Have you heard about Gantt chart?
I've heard about it, but yeah, I've
So
not worked on it before. Yeah.
yeah, so you can say Gantt chart is a. You can Google it. Okay. You can
Yeah,
say
yeah, yeah.
Gantt chart. Yeah, Gantt. I can present the project status and timeline to the customer with in the form of Gantt chart by using Gantt chart. Okay. Now, if
Okay.
he or she asks what is Gantt chart, so you can explain. So Gantt chart is a visual representation of the project status and timeline. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay.
it's just
So
in the form of a PPT you can prepare. Okay, that you have in the Gantt chart you have basically on the left hand side you have the key deliverables of the project. Okay, like planning, analysis, design, development, like that. Whatever are the key deliverables that you are going to do in the project, and on the right
yeah.
hand side the column you will have basically months, how many months it is going to take. Like in month one you are doing your analysis or planning, in the month two you will do analysis, in the month 3 and 4 you will do the design, in the month 5 and 6 7 you will be do the development. So you show it through a visual diagram. That is what is Gantt chart.
Okay. Who creates the document? Is it the project manager or
It
the
is
B?
ideally it should be created by the project manager, but it again depends upon the project. If the project manager asks business analyst to do, so business analyst does that, but it should be prepared
Okay.
by a
Okay. So the name of the
project
tool is
manager.
Grand Chat, right? Hello? Hello? Are you there?
Gantt chart, yeah.
Hello?
So read
Oh, I
something
can't hear
about
you.
Gantt chart.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so what I mean is that the tool is it called Grand Chat, right?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello? The network is yeah, I can hear you now.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
No, your voice
Can
is
you hear me?
breaking.
I don't know what's going on. Hello?
Try to join
Are you
again.
there?
Try to join again.
Okay. Yeah, let me Mhm.
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I don't know what went wrong. Yeah, it's just yeah. Let me share my screen.
Okay.
Um, can you see my screen?
No, as of now, no. I I'll let you know
Okay.
when I see.
Can you see it?
I can see.
Okay. All right. So we're on project scope document. Can you see?
I can see. I can see.
Okay, yeah. So we've discussed we're on how will you present the project status and timeline to customer. So that will
Okay, so
be
that is to
via
Gantt chart.
so I'll present it to the stakeholders, right? Okay, to the stakeholders.
Yeah,
Present it
correct.
to the stakeholder. All right. Then I'll obtain the feedback, right? On oh
Yes, yes, yes. Obviously.
okay, all right. So how will you ensure that all the requirements have been tested
Hmm.
as a business analyst? So my own answer, how we ensure that all the requirements is through the requirement traceability metrics.
Yes, very good. Yes, that is the answer.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but I need you to break it down for me, please. Like, is it
So
mapping the yeah,
yeah,
go
so how will you ensure that all the requirements have been tested? So you'll create a requirement traceability matrix. So basically, requirement traceability matrix is a matrix where uh, the requirements are mapped to the test cases. Okay, to ensure that
okay.
each and every requirements are being tested properly or are being considered for testing. Okay, so it's
Okay.
a document. Okay, you can create it in Microsoft Excel. You have your requirement number, then along beside that you have the test case for that test case. So we are ensuring that every requirement has some test cases. That means each
Yeah.
and every requirements are tested, so through requirement traceability matrix.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is the correct answer.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. Where are we? Where are we? Mm, Um. Yeah. So, what is what is your understanding
Hmm.
about STLC, and
Yeah.
what is the end-to-end process of testing?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
So
you have worked as a tester, no? You said.
yes. Yes. Yes.
So I think you
Yeah.
can answer
So
the question properly.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what you
So
will answer?
the STLC, yeah, is the software testing life cycle. Yeah, right from
Hmm.
when the requirement is being analyzed. Yeah.
Okay.
So right from when the requirement is being analyzed, yeah, designed by the architects, developed by the developers, and so once it is ready for testing, yeah, it's been deployed into testing environment. So where the tester does its own testing, and then
Mhm.
once it passes, yeah, it goes into the live environment. And once it passes, yeah, before it goes into live, we do the UAT testing. So that is when we test with the customer to be sure that we are the right product, that the product meets the customer's requirement before. So once this one is done, it's then get deployed to the live environment. Yeah. So, and the end-to-end process of testing, it starts from when the product is being deployed. Yeah. So I mean the integration testing. It has to do with the integration testing, system testing.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the UAT testing and
Mhm.
live testing. Yeah. Yeah. So then
Okay.
that's my
See,
understanding.
okay, so basically, the software testing, STLC stands for Software Testing Lifecycle. It is a sequence of different activities performed during the software testing process. Okay? Now, as soon as the requirements are gathered by the business analyst and it is analyzed and validated by the business analyst, that means when it is documented basically. So when the requirement documents are ready, okay, by the business analyst, okay,
Yeah.
then the testing team, they basically start with the software testing process. Okay, and this software
Okay.
testing process is called software testing lifecycle. Okay, now In the software testing life cycle, there are 6 phases. Okay, what are those 6 phases?
Okay.
First phase is requirement analysis. Second is test planning. Third is test case development. Fourth is test environment setup. Fifth is test execution, and the last one is
Yeah.
test closure. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
requirement analysis, what you do, so you understand the requirement. Okay, whatever requirements are there in the requirement document, you first try to understand the requirement. If you have any questions, they ask to a BA. Okay, and
Yeah.
get it clarified. Okay, so they try to analyze the requirement. Okay, in order to
Yeah.
test it, you have to first understand the requirement. Okay, then is the planning stage. Okay, so planning stage in
Okay.
the sense, you plan that how much time it is going to take, how much effort it is going to take, how many resources are required to test it. Okay, so those type of planning
Yeah.
we do in the planning stage. Okay, then
Okay.
comes test case development. Now test case development means in this phase you start writing the test cases, the detailed test cases
Okay.
for every requirement. Okay, you prepare the test case data. Okay, also for the testing. You means I'm
Okay.
saying the testing team over here. Okay,
Okay.
now, once the test cases are prepared, okay, in this test case development
Yeah.
stage only, you get this test case
Mm.
reviewed by the business analyst. Okay, that can you ensure that all the test cases are proper or not? Okay, so this
Okay.
is the development stage. Now, the fourth stage is test environment setup. So, test environment setup means the test different environments that you will set up. Okay, you can't test it in production. You have to
Okay.
create a environment like UAT or development. Okay, so development is the environment where the developers develop. Okay,
They
for
do that.
testing
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
prepare, yeah, you prepare a UAT environment where you can test it actually. Okay, so
Okay.
the testing team, they basically prepare that environment. Now fifth stage is execution stage, where you take the test case document and one by one you test everything and you see whether the
Okay.
results are according to the expected result or not. Okay, and the sixth stage is the closer stage. Closer stage means that is the stage where you close the test cases, that all the test cases have passed, it has been tested properly, so I'm closing the test cases. Okay,
Okay.
so this is all about testing cycle. Understood?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 Very well. Thank you. So, where do I come in as the BA, as the
Hmm.
business analyst in these stages?
You are acting as secondary role. This is done by a quality assurance team or a QA team, testing team, which we call. Okay, so they are doing
Okay.
these things. Okay, you are just monitoring them, coordinating with them, seeing that everything is being done properly. That's all.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So consider there is an internet banking application with KYC as one of the modules in it. In the KYC form, the requirement is to add a new file field to upload MRN document. Could you please tell me what would be your approach as a BA to handle this requirement? Yes, I'm not sure of that.
No, so these are the questions where these are the practical questions where your practical skills will be tested. Okay, so this is a
Okay.
question that I have created from my side. Okay.
All right.
Okay, if I was an interviewer, I would have asked this question to the candidate to check the approach of the candidate. Okay, so here
Okay.
what is the question? The question is, there is an internet banking application. That means there is already an application. Okay, already an
Okay.
application with KYC as one of the modules in it. Okay, so one of the modules in that application is KYC. Okay, now
Okay.
in the KYC module there is a form. Okay, and in that form there is a new requirement or a change to add a new field to upload the document. Could you please tell me what will be your approach as a BA to handle this requirement? See, so as a BA, first you will try to understand, okay, from the customer, okay, that why this field is needed to add it. Okay, what is the business benefit that we will get, or what is the business rationale behind adding this field? Why we are adding this field? So first you will try to understand. Okay, purpose.
Okay.
Okay, so first, as a business analyst, you try to understand the purpose. Okay. So first, I will try
Okay.
to understand the purpose, the rationale behind adding this fee, and how it is going to benefit the business by adding this fee. Okay. Or why the
Okay.
business is adding this fee. Okay. Second, When I get that information from the business that this is the reason why we need to add the field, then I will
Yeah.
gather the requirements. Okay, in the requirements, in the sense, I will ask that whether it will be, I mean, how the field will look like, where it will be placed in the form. Okay, it will be placed after, because if it's a form, the form has name, your email address, your any kind of identification number, and all those
Yeah.
things. Where
Yeah.
exactly I'm going to add this? So you will ask this question, okay, to the customer.
Okay.
Now, when I'm saying a field to upload a document, so what type of documents it will be supported? It's a PDF, it's a Excel, it's a
Yeah.
Word
Excel.
document. So this kind of questions you will ask. Okay. Other question you
Okay.
can ask: what will be the size of the file which the customers can upload? Okay. Is there any a minimum
Okay.
size or a maximum size which the customers can upload? So those type of questions also you will ask. Okay. And how, where it is going to be stored. So once the customer will upload this document, so um, I mean, where it is going to get stored. Okay, this document, where it is going to
Yeah.
get stored. So you'll ask that. Okay. When they
Okay.
upload the document, okay, will the document be visible over there? Okay, or will there be an option to remove that document and re-upload any other document? See, these are the different type of questions that I'm saying you, what you can ask over here.
Okay.
Okay, and what the interviewer
Okay.
is expecting from you. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
so these are different requirements, okay, that you will gather related to this field. Now, once you have gathered the requirement, you will do the impact analysis. Okay. Now, what is impact
Yeah.
analysis? Impact analysis means this application is already there. Okay. Now, if you add this field, what are the areas where it can be impacted? Okay. What are the areas which needs to be changed? Okay. Because definitely this KYC form might be connected to some other modules also, or when the customer
Mm.
submits this KYC form, some data might be going to somewhere. Okay. So when this
Mm.
document, when I'm adding this field, are there any other areas which will be impacted, or which will be required to change, or any modification is required to be done? So as a business analyst, I will analyze those things. Okay.
Mm. Okay.
And I
Okay.
will present my analysis to the customer. Okay, I'll tell them that these if we add this field, these are the areas where we need to change. So this is not the only requirement, we have more requirement, we have more places to change. Okay, so I'll get those things clarified, and then I will basically add it in the form of a document. Okay, this is a simple one requirement question is there, so you will prepare a document
Mm.
for that. Okay, and you will then explain all the requirements to your development team. And then once the development is done, you will ask your testing team to test it, not only this field, okay, but
So
the
all of
entire
this.
area, yeah, where it was impacted, you will test everything. Okay,
Okay.
so this is
Okay.
your approach as a BA to handle this requirement.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask you that question as well, the impact analysis question.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think you've covered it. You've covered it now. Yeah, because it's on the job description that
Hmm.
they want me to have I mean, what my approach towards impact analysis.
Don't worry,
Yeah,
I have
so
included every question over here. Don't worry.
all right, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Thank you. So let's go to the next one now.
No.
Okay. What are the different types of analysis that a BA does?
Hmm.
Yeah, so with my little understanding, I know document analysis,
Mhm.
um, requirement analysis, impact analysis.
Very good.
Yeah, is it change analysis? So I'm
Yes,
not
change
sure.
analysis also. Yes.
Yeah, change analysis.
Gap
Yeah,
analysis.
gap. Oh yeah, gap analysis. Gap as yeah, is it? Yeah, gap analysis. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
These are
What
the
other
different types.
ones?
No, no, these are the
Okay,
only ones. Yeah.
all right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but what are the different ways in which a BA can understand the business process and functionality?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking it's true. Yeah, I'm asking questions from the stakeholders.
Mhm.
Yeah, from the project stakeholders,
Mhm.
doing in document analysis.
Very good. Yes.
Yeah, document analysis, ask questions, then exploring the system if there's a system in place.
Yes. Very good.
Yeah, so yeah, exploring, doing a kind of exploratory testing to know how the system works. Yeah,
Very good.
yeah,
Yes. Yes, yes,
Yeah, I
correct.
think.
The answer is correct. Yeah, these are the different ways.
All right. Do you have anything you want to add?
No, 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 no. This is the answer.
Mhm. All right. So, what is the difference between functional and non-functional requirements? Can you share some examples of non-functional requirements? So,
Mhm.
yeah, functional requirement. I mean, that states it explains, it describes what the system should do, what the system should do. Yeah. So, and the non-functional requirements, it's how it explains, it describes how the system should, I mean, how the system should do it, should, yeah, how the system, and I, I'm not really sure of that part. Yeah, so how the system should work, I think, how long or something. Yeah, so and then yeah, so these are examples of it. Like the non-functional, you're talking about the system compatibility, in stability
Portability.
testing.
So non-functional requirements are your performance, okay, that is speed,
Yeah, the performance testing. Yeah, the
security,
performance. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, performance, security,
security,
portability, compatibility, maintainability,
usability.
sustainability, yeah, usability, yeah, these are the
Mm,
non-functional requirements. See, when you answer this question, okay, when someone asks you what is functional requirement or difference between functional and non-functional, always give an example,
okay,
okay. After giving your
okay.
definition, give an example. When you said that functional requirement is what the system should do, okay, so after that you say, I can give you an example of a functional requirement. So in my
Yeah,
fleet check, when I was working in fleet check, so this was the application, and this is the feature. So you can consider this. So this is the you can
okay,
consider this feature as functional requirement. Like that, you have
okay.
to answer. Okay,
All
but
right.
give
Okay.
examples.
Examples. Okay. Okay.
See, even if they
All right.
don't ask, even if they don't ask the examples, always give examples.
Okay. 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 Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. The next question.
Yeah. What are the factors that you will consider while prioritizing requirements? What are the different techniques to prioritize the requirements? Which techniques you have used for prioritization? Yeah. So
Hmm. So, what are the factors that you will consider while prioritizing the requirements? First factor is the business value. Okay.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, business value. Second factor is your stakeholder agreement. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Which requirements majority of the stakeholders are agreeing? That should be prioritized first. Okay.
Mm.
Third factor, you can say from business impact. Okay, that
Mm.
if you don't consider that requirement first, or if you don't prioritize that requirement first, or if you don't work on that requirement first, business can have an impact. So such requirement should be prioritized first. Fourth,
Okay.
from the regulatory compliance or legal perspective, okay, which are the
Okay.
important requirements, so that requirement you should prioritize first. Okay. And the fifth
Okay.
one is the dependency. Okay, that means if two requirements are dependent upon each other, like suppose you have requirement one, requirement two. Okay, now until and unless you make requirement one, you can't make requirement two. That means requirement two is of no use. Requirement two is dependent upon requirement one. So the requirement one should be prioritized first. Okay, these are the five factors
Okay.
that you should consider. Okay, business value. Okay, stakeholder agreement,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
impact, okay, your compliance and dependency. Okay.
Okay.
Now, what are the different techniques to prioritize the requirements? So, some of the popular techniques to prioritize the requirements are Moscow. Okay.
Muscle analysis. Yeah.
Yeah. Ranking method, $100 technique. Okay. And
Okay.
in Scrum, you can say planning poker.
And planning poker. Okay.
Yeah. And which
So
technique
wait.
you have used prioritization? Huh, go ahead.
Okay. So you don't use Muscle analysis in Scrum.
No, it's see, it's not like that you don't use. Okay. You can use Moscow also. Okay.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, which
Yeah.
technique you have
So
used for prioritization? So, say Moscow. Okay. Always say Moscow.
Muscle.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a must have. Must have, could have,
So that,
should have, and won't have.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then do I need to give examples? I need to give examples of that, right?
Yes, you need to give examples. So you can say that again, start situation. So you have to mention the situation. So in my last
Yeah.
project or my last organization, so there were around. You can give a number approximate that this many requirements. So once the requirement was validated, once the requirement was signed off, okay, document was signed off,
Yeah.
then I connect with the customer and. We did a prioritization session where using Moscow, I prioritize that which are the requirements which will come in must-have bucket, will come in should-have bucket, could-have bucket, and would or won't-have bucket. Okay, so this is how I prioritize the requirement.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What is your understanding about MVP?
Hmm.
I really want an example of this because it's on the job description.
Hmm.
MVP. They made the yeah. They
Okay. First
actually
of all,
made
what is MVP?
yeah. That's a minimum viable product.
Okay. What is the meaning of minimum viable product?
Yeah. So what I understand about minimum viable that is what a system can do without. Okay. For
Hmm.
instance, you're building a particular application. So
Hmm.
the minimum viable product should be like it should come like the login
Hmm.
the login so that's this products are these are the products that the system must have they must
Hmm.
have to function properly to function properly yeah so
Hmm.
they need to be prioritized first so I think that's my own definition but
See, yeah,
I'm not
MVP is the minimum viable product. So you can give an example, like suppose there is a cab booking application. Okay, so suppose the requirement is to build a cab booking application. Okay, like Uber.
okay
Okay, you
yeah
can take example of Uber. So the minimum viable product is the product or is the first of all the definition. Okay, so minimum viable product or MVP is a product with enough features, okay, or that much features to attract
mm-hmm.
early adopter customers, okay, and validate a product idea early in the product development cycle. Okay, so what is that? That means in order to test, in order to validate that your product idea, okay, will succeed in future or not, you develop that much thing, okay, which the end user can use and give you any feedback. Okay, so that is MVP.
Okay
Okay, so that you can get feedback. So you can take example of cab booking application. So if there is a cab booking application, so here the minimum viable product will be of the product with features like registration, login,
yeah
and a
mm-hmm.
screen to search and book a cab. That's all.
Mm. Okay
That is the minimum features that you will give to test your product. That's why it is called minimum viable product.
all right okay
Okay,
okay
you can give
yeah
this example.
Okay. Okay. So why should we have the minimum viable product? Why? I mean, why is
in
that?
order to validate your product idea. Okay, in order to
Oh,
validate
right.
your product idea whether it will succeed or not, okay, whether it will be liked by the customer or not, so you do something and give it to the end users, okay, rather than just starting working on your product, rather than building the entire product and launching in the market and after that customers are
Mm.
not using it. Okay, so it will
Oh,
be a huge
right.
failure for your company. So build something and test it in the market whether it will work or not. So that is minimum
It's
viable
work.
product.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. So how do you approach to a problem?
Hmm.
How do you
Okay.
approach to a problem as a business analyst?
Okay, how do you approach a problem as a business analyst? Okay, so what you will say?
Yeah, as a business analyst, my approach should be by trying to investigate the problem,
Hmm.
get the root cause analysis of this problem.
Mhm.
Yeah, and just ensure that I understand the situation.
Hmm.
Yeah, before yeah, I understand the situation before like suggesting solutions to the
Hmm.
problem. Yeah,
Hmm.
and this can be through interviews, interviewing, I mean the key stakeholders
Mhm.
involved, doing my own research. Yeah. So yeah, for yeah. So that's my own, that's
No, no.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, almost. I mean, it was a good one. Just give me a minute, no?
Okay. Yeah.
Because I gave someone time. I thought we'll connect at 5, but so that
Oh,
person
okay.
is her interview is tomorrow only.
Oh, I must say that your your materials on LinkedIn are so helpful.
Thank you,
They
thank
are
you.
so helpful. They're so helpful.
Okay, so we'll connect. Okay, so there are three aspects to approach a problem. Okay, or there are three
Okay.
parts in which you should approach a problem. Okay, I term this approach as 2W and 1H approach. 2W and 1H approach. Now, what is this
Two
2W
W.
and yeah, 2W and 1H approach? So in 2Ws, I say what, why, and H means how. So there are three
Mm.
parts of approaching a problem: what, why, and how. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
when I say what means I will first try to connect with the customer, okay, or whoever is facing the problem, okay, that what is the problem. First, I will try to understand what is the problem, and I will define the problem statement that this is the problem.
Okay.
Okay. Then comes the okay, in the what section only, once I have understood the problem, what exactly is the problem, and I've defined the problem, I'll try to find out what is the frequency of this problem. Okay, what is
Okay.
the frequency of occurrence of this problem? That how frequently this problem is occurring. Is it a one-time problem? Is it the first time the problem has occurred? Is it the problem which is getting repeated? So I'll try to understand the frequency.
Mm.
Okay,
Okay.
then comes the why section. Why means I will try to investigate why the problem is occurring. Okay, I will conduct I'll conduct the brainstorming sessions. Okay, with the team.
Okay.
I'll try to find the root cause analysis of the problem. Okay, I'll try to find the root cause analysis of the problem.
The root
Okay,
cause. Okay. How will I find out the root cause? Yeah, like
so how to find
through
the root cause analysis? Yeah, how to do root cause analysis using 5 why technique. Okay, so there is a technique called 5 why, where you ask
Okay.
the question starting from why 5 times or more than 5 times. Okay, the name is
Okay.
5 why. That doesn't mean you have to ask question only 5 times. It's just a name, so you can say that using 5 why technique, I'll do the root cause analysis. I'll ask the question starting with why 5 times, and I'll try to go in depth and find the root cause. Okay, so that is the
Okay.
root cause analysis, why the problem is occurring. I'll try to find that first. Okay,
Okay.
then once you have understood why the problem is occurring, then comes how. Okay, in the how
Okay.
section, I try to find the solution for this problem. What all are the possible solution for this problem? I try to find all those solutions, not just one solution. I'll try to find all the possible solutions for this problem. Okay,
Okay.
okay, and then once I have found out the problem, I will connect with the customer, and I'll try to and I will present all my solutions to them. Okay, and whichever
Okay.
solution is the most efficient or is adding the maximum business value, I will basically I'll suggest it to the customer from my side, and whatever is the customer's decision, whatever solution they are liking, when they confirm it, then I will document that solution, and I will ask my team to implement this solution. So this is how. Now, once the
Okay.
solution is implemented, I will monitor it whether the problem is again occurring or not. Okay, if the problem is
Mm.
not occurring, then I'll consider this as closed. If the problem is occurring, then again I will go to why, okay, and how. Again, I'll repeat that cycle. Okay,
Okay. How will you monitor the solution?
how will you?
Monitor the solution. Like how will as a business analyst, how will I monitor the solution?
So
Wow. I mean,
you just have to check what was the problem statement, or whether that problem is again coming or not.
okay.
If that problem was with
Okay.
any feature of the application, like suppose document upload feature was not working, that was the problem. Okay, so when the solution was implemented, you go and check, you go and upload the document, you check whether it is now working properly or not. That's all.
Okay. 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 All right, that's fine. Am I going to present a document like a benefit realization document? Does that correlate or?
Sorry.
I'm not sure. I mean, Is it related to like presenting a benefit realization document at the end of the project?
Yes, you can consider like that.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fine. Okay, yeah, let's move to the other one. So, yeah. So give an example of a situation in which you saw an opportunity in a potential problem. What did you do? What was the outcome? I'm not sure of that.
Now this is a scenario based question, okay,
Yeah.
where you have to answer this question, okay. I can help you in
Yeah.
framing the answer, but information you
Mm-hmm.
have to provide.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's fine.
So what you
Okay,
have
so
written?
yeah, what's sorry?
No, no. See, you have written like as a business analyst, my first strategy when it comes to solving a problem will be to investigate the situation problem to understand the complexity. This ensures I gain some understanding of the situation in my no. The first paragraph you don't have to write. Okay.
Okay.
The question clearly states that describe a situation where you had to solve a problem. Okay. So
Okay.
you'll start from there. In my previous role as a business analyst, I was tasked with solving problem the company was facing at that time. I opted for a root cause analysis to identify. No, you have to first describe the situation. What was the problem?
This okay.
So what was the problem? Any problem that you can think?
Um, I think the problem, like maybe stakeholders conflicting, priorities with stakeholders. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Uh,
Conflicting interests on the project.
any other problem?
Another problem is the software. I mean, when we have too many bugs on the software,
Mm-hmm.
on the software application. Yeah, so maybe or the customers are not the stakeholders are saying the software delivered didn't it didn't meet their requirement.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? Or too many changes. Yeah, like stakeholders going back and forth. Yeah,
Okay.
they want new features.
So out of the problems that you stated, so in which problem you are comfortable to answer? Like what did you do? What was the result? What might have you done differently?
Yeah, I think I would like to go for the one the stakeholders coming up with changes, like they
Okay.
want additional feature, they want so I think yeah.
Okay, so you can state that. In my previous project, so this was the problem that I faced where customers were coming up with coming frequently with a lot of changes. Okay, so this is was the
Mm-hmm.
situation. Now, what did you do there?
Yeah, what I did was that I checked what sorry, can you come again with the situation, sir?
So
This is the
the situation that you mentioned is customers coming up with changes to the requirements.
okay, so what I'm gonna do is that I'll go back to my project scope.
No, no. See,
The scope.
one thing. What you will
Okay.
do, that you don't have to answer. What did you do? So try to frame your answer in that way. It should sound that you had actually faced this
Okay.
problem and you did this.
Okay.
So your answer should
Okay.
not be in this manner like I will do this. I will
Yeah,
no.
I
I
will.
did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So so I went back to check the project, the scope and in scope,
Hmm.
to know if the actual feature they were asking for is part of the scope, and then I do the impact analysis. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's then I define the scope, then know what to consider and what to not consider. Yeah, so if what they ask for, I mean, if what they're asking for is part of the scope, I'll need to like do the impact analysis, let them understand the impact the new
Hmm.
feature is gonna have on the project in terms
Hmm.
of time,
Hmm.
resources, and
Hmm.
Yeah, and budget.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
see, what you have answered almost correct. What you can say is, so this was problem. So I want to describe a problem that I faced in my last company in the uh, uh, improvement process project. Okay, whatever was the name of the project. Okay, you can
Okay.
give the name of the project.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then you'll say
Okay.
that when customers were coming up with changes. So first, I scheduled a workshop with the customers to understand what is the change, okay, and why is this
Mm-hmm.
change required, okay, what is the benefit that the business will get from this change, what is the rationale behind
Okay.
this change. So I tried to, I understood all these things, and once when I got all the information from the customers, I did my
Yeah.
analysis that if I do this change, what all areas can be impacted. Okay, uh, uh,
Okay.
uh, will my existing project will be impacted? Okay, the timelines will be impacted. Other requirements which are in pipeline, that will be impacted. So I did all my analysis over there, and I presented all my analysis to the customer that according to me, this change can be delayed. Okay, if you need this change, the timeline will be impacted, the existing requirements will be impacted, it will be delayed,
Okay.
and this change is having impact on the other downstream application also, so they also need to change, but they are not in the position to change right now because they don't have a release right now. So it's very difficult to do the change. I tried to present it all this analysis to the customer. Okay, and
Okay.
what was the result? The customers were actually satisfied. I mean, to my surprise, you can answer like this. To my surprise,
Okay.
the customers were actually satisfied with all my explanation and all my analysis, and they said that okay, right now we will not include this change, but once the dependent teams or the other teams are ready for their release, at that time we can include this change. So this was the result what you got. Okay,
Okay. All right.
now what might you have done differently? Okay,
Okay.
now what might you have done differently over here? So
I don't have
you
any
can
idea.
say, I mean, you can say that uh, I could have connected with the dependent teams whoever had impact. Okay, and I
Mm-hmm.
could have requested them to plan a release. Okay, if as it was an urgent change from the customer, and I could
Okay.
have done that change, but I did not do that. So this is what I could have done different, like that you can say.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Give an example of a situation in which you saw an opportunity in a potential problem. What did you do? What was the outcome?
Okay. Yeah, tell me.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm sorry. Yeah.
This
What's an
scenario-based
example?
questions, you have to, I mean, you have to think something and tell me, then I'll be able to frame you the answer, help you in framing the answer.
Give an example of a situation in which you saw an opportunity in a potential problem. Yeah. Maybe.
Let me give you some idea or tips
Okay.
that you can think of. Give an example of a situation in which you saw an opportunity in a potential problem. What did you do? What was the outcome? You can think from the system or application perspective. Okay, where any particular issue was coming in the system. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and that problem was highlighted by the customer. Okay, and
Okay.
when you were analyzing that problem, okay, that system issue, so you found that we can uh, come up with this new feature. Okay, in order to
Okay.
solve this problem, we can come up with this new feature. Okay, so in by doing this problem will also be solved, and uh, and it will improve the user experience of the end users, something like that you can
Okay.
come up with.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You can think of something like that.
Okay. So
uh,
what did you do? And what was the
yeah, so what did you do? So I mean, yeah, so that was just, so first you have to think of a situation. I just give you an idea that in that direction you can think. But first you have to think about the situation.
Okay. I think you just said it now. Yeah, regarding the situation of a customer, yeah, raised an
So
issue, and I felt,
LMS was the in your learning management system project.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so think of something from there. Okay, think of something from there. Create some problem over there. Okay, create
Okay,
a problem. Okay, in the application, because see, you know that application, I don't know. Okay,
okay,
you can imagine that because you have worked there. So imagine and create a problem over there. Okay, and you can say in this way whatever I told. The problem was highlighted by customer, and when I was investigating the problem, analyzing the problem, I came up with an idea basically, or to add a feature which will solve this problem also, and which will enhance the user experience also. So something like that you came up with. Okay,
okay,
and what did you do? You basically explained your analysis to the customer. Okay,
okay,
you basically proposed that new thing to the customer, that opportunity to the customer. And what was the
okay,
outcome? So customers were very happy. Okay, they sent me an appreciation message, a mail, and they were actually very happy with my investigation and with the proposed feature, and they accepted it,
okay.
and they asked us to do that. So that was the outcome.
All right, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, that's
Okay,
fine. Yeah.
okay.
So what
Next
steps
one.
do you take before making a decision on how to resolve a problem and why? So as a business analyst, my first strategy, I mean, when it comes to solve a problem, is to investigate the situation or problem to understand the complexity. This ensures that I gain some understanding of the situation before diving into providing suggestive options and solutions. Yeah, I think it has to be the why, the
Hmm.
what, and how.
Hmm. So, what steps do you take before making a decision on how to solve a problem? So, I think this is correct. Okay, so steps that you take before making a decision on how to solve the problem is what and why. Okay, what I discussed, the
Yeah,
three
what
aspects, that
and
what and why. So you can say that. So those are the things that I consider.
okay,
Those
okay,
are the steps that I take.
okay, and how to start and why.
So obviously, why you can answer that until and unless I understand the problem statement clearly and define it properly. Uh, I mean, I can't. My team will not be able to find the root cause of the problem until we have a proper understanding of the problem. We will not be able to find
Okay,
the root cause, and if we don't find the root cause, we will not be able to build a permanent solution for that. We will build a temporary
okay,
solution. So for time being, the problem will be resolved, but in future the problem might come again. Okay, so that's why
okay,
the what and why is very important. That's why those steps you take. That's why you do the root
okay.
cause analysis.
That's how I do what? Which analysis?
Root cause analysis.
The root cause. Okay, 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 yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So what is okay, so tell me about a time when you became aware of a potential problem and resolved it before it became an issue. So yeah, so like this one now, if I give an example, I don't, maybe you can just frame it for me. Yeah.
Mhm.
So a potential problem could be, like I said, maybe customers coming up with changes, yeah, to
No,
the
no. This
system.
this 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 example has already been taken. Okay, so think
Okay.
something different.
Became aware of it. Okay, the potential problem is maybe we're not going. It's the project looks as if we're not going to meet the deadline. Yeah, due to lack of resources. Yeah,
No,
does that make
see,
sense?
try. No, no, no. That does not sound good. Try to think from again from a system perspective. Think from a system perspective. The potential problem that you identified in the system.
Okay, when you became aware of a potential problem and
Maybe
resolved it.
it can be I can give you an idea. It can be in the form of uh, dashboards was there. Okay, but in the dashboards data was not reflecting properly. So when I was
Okay,
doing some testing, I identified that this is a problem. The data is not
Okay.
reflecting properly. So I did the root cause analysis why the data was not reflecting properly in the dashboard, and then I got it corrected through a data fix with my developer, and I solved that issue before my customer was aware of that.
So it's all right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good
So,
example. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, something like that you can say.
Okay. So what is gap analysis? Describe a situation when you performed gap analysis. So gap analysis is defined as a method of assessing the difference between the actual performance and expected performance in an organization or a business. Yeah,
Mhm.
so the term gap refers to the space between where we are and
Mhm.
where we want to be. Gap
Yes.
analysis can
Correct.
also be referred to as need analysis, need assessment, or need gap analysis. So yeah, so the gap, what I understand by gap analysis, like I said, it's just that
No,
gap.
no, your answer is, see, your definition is
Yeah.
correct. Now you have to give an example.
Okay. All right. Okay. So for example, in my last project, I was tasked with conducting the gap analysis. Yeah, in my last project in Flick Check. So I was tasked with conducting gap analysis. Yeah, from I I I I understood. I tried to understand. To identify the current problems of
No,
the
no.
system.
Uh, when you are giving example of gap analysis, there you have to mention what was the current state, what was the future state, that is target state. Did you take to reach from present state to the future state? So you have to say that.
Okay. Okay. So
Okay.
let me
The
use my
answer that
LMS
the
project.
answer yeah the answer that you're giving, you are again defining the gap analysis. You're not describing a situation.
Okay. So the situation was that I mean the business their current state they were into on classroom, they were classroom based. Their
Mhm.
trainees are classroom based, which is a
Mhm.
current state, which are
Mhm.
actually identified as this state, and they wanted to move out of classroom based training into an online cloud, into an online training. So I came in as a BA to identify the gap and bridge that gap by doing my ASIS analysis and
Mhm.
to be analysis, which is the current state, where the target state of the business, where they want to be.
Okay, your current state and future state is correct. So what steps did you take?
Yeah, the steps I took was I conducted workshops, series of workshops, focus groups, brainstorming sessions with the stakeholders. Yeah, to have a better understanding of their current state and gather information on their view on the current state, and then I analyzed it by coming up with process maps diagram with UML and BPMN diagram. Yeah, to have a better understanding of how the current system works.
No, no. See,
Yeah,
yeah,
then
you don't have to answer it in that granular level. Okay. So your
okay,
current state was that there was offline classes or something that you mentioned, and they wanted to shift to the online thing. Okay. So that is your
okay,
current state and future state. So how did I do gap analysis? So the steps that I proposed to the business was, we could have we can make the portal. Okay, we can make an online application with these features. Okay, and we can onboard the students or something like that. Okay, at a high level you have to say, not what in
oh,
granular level what you did. Okay.
okay, 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 okay. Can I give an example? Like, okay, we migrated, the
Hmm.
students to
Yes, yes,
to
yes,
yeah
yes. Those things
to
you
the
can say. Yes,
online.
yes. Yes.
Okay, that's fine. How will you model a business process? Which modeling techniques have you used?
Mhm. How
Yeah,
will
as
do you
a
model a business process? So you model a business process using BPMN. Which modeling
yeah,
techniques you have used? So I have used BPMN, okay, for modeling the
Mm-hmm.
requirement. I have used activity diagram or from UML
Yeah.
to
UML.
create,
Okay.
yeah, okay, so that you can say. And if I have to do the database modeling, I have used entity relationship diagram technique.
Okay. Entity relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How? Which model techniques to you? Consider a situation where business has to. Let me scroll down. Where business has to store different kinds of data. How will you help the technical team in getting this data stored? How will you show different relationships between the data? Yeah, so that's SQL. I mean data stuff. In place
Okay, just give me a second, na? Just give me a second.
okay. Mhm.
Just a second, na?
No problem. Mhm.
Okay, okay, yeah. Hello.
Oh yeah, I'm here. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I need an example with for this. So how consider a situation where
Where business has to store different kind of data, how will you help the technical team in getting this data stored? Okay, so first you will say that where a business has to store different kind of data. So first you'll say that first I'll try to understand what are those datas. Okay, what are
okay.
those data that needs to be stored. Okay, what is the purpose of storing those data. Okay, and then using entity relationship diagram. Okay, using entity
Mm-hmm.
relationship diagram, I will create the database models. Okay, and
Okay.
I will present it to the technical team that this is the database data modeling. I'll do the data modeling. I'll present this diagram to the technical team and explain that these are the different type of data that needs to be stored. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
basically these are the different type of tables that can be created, and this is how the uh, fields will be there in the column. So that's how I will explain the technical team. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. All right.
And how will you show different relationship between data using entity relationship diagram?
Entity relationships. Okay.
Yeah.
So is that all right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. How will you ensure that key stakeholders are not missed when the project has begun? How do you identify stakeholders in the project? How does a BA perform stakeholder analysis? Mm.
Okay. So how will you ensure that key stakeholders are not missed when the project has begun? Okay. How will you
Yeah.
ensure? So basically, you ensure by creating a RACI matrix. Okay. And
Okay.
by once you create the RACI matrix, you conduct a workshop to discuss that RACI matrix with the stakeholders. And if you
Okay.
find that any particular stakeholder is missing in that meeting, okay, you add that
Okay.
in the RACI matrix. Okay, so
Okay.
this is how you ensure that key stakeholders are not missed. Okay,
All
and how do
right.
you identify
Okay.
stakeholders in the project? You identify stakeholders in the project from the initial level documents. Then by when you go for the scope meeting, okay, when you're
Okay.
trying to understand the scope, at that time you might identify the stakeholders. Or when you go to requirement gathering sessions, okay, at that time, if
Mm-hmm.
you might identify new stakeholders, okay, if
Mm-hmm.
you don't get any information, and if you get a
Mm-hmm.
spot, that information you can take from that person, so you identify the new stakeholder. So through these ways we identify the stakeholders in our project.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah. So
and
how
how does
does a BA
a
perform?
BA perform stakeholder analysis? You first identify and list down all the stakeholders. Okay, then you try
Okay.
to understand the power and interest of that stakeholder in the project. Okay,
Okay.
and you try
Yeah.
to understand their background, their role, their expertise, how they are related to this project. Okay, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and at last you create a RACI matrix. This is the stakeholder
Okay.
analysis step. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Can you consider you have come up with a solution to some problem? There are a few stakeholders who are ready to accept the solution, but few are not ready. How do you resolve this conflict? Hmm. Mm. Hmm. So,
Okay.
please can you help me with that? I
Okay.
don't
Just a
know
second.
idea. Yes. Uh,
Okay. Consider your team has come up with a solution to some problem. There are few stakeholders who are ready to accept your solution, but few are not ready. How do you resolve this conflict? Okay. So conflict. So when such situation comes, okay. So first thing that
okay.
you will do is you will try to how do you resolve this conflict? Okay. So any conflict resolution has three steps in it or three stages in it. First is
Okay.
conflict identification. Okay. That what actually is the conflict. Okay, why is this conflict arising? So you try to understand
Okay.
that. Then is the source of the conflict. Okay, so what is the source,
Okay.
from where the conflict is arising? Okay, is it arising due to data, any particular data issue? Okay, or is it arising in
Okay.
due to conflict of interest or conflict of opinion or conflict of
Okay.
value? So why that conflict, what is the source of that conflict? Now once you understand the source of the conflict, okay, then you
Okay.
first step that you do for resolving it, you go for voting. Okay, that these are the solutions, and whoever whichever solution got the majority vote, you will say that we'll go with this solution. Okay, now suppose
Oh, okay.
in this voting you get equal votes, okay, and you're not able to come to a conclusion, then you can say
Okay.
that we can we can use a decision matrix. Okay, in
Okay.
and by using the decision matrix, we'll be using decision matrix technique, we'll be able to come to one solution. Okay, if that is also not working, then there is a technique called overruling. Overruling means you will go to a person superior to them or in the hierarchy, and you will take help from them. Okay, that we are not able to come to a proper solution. Okay, because we
Okay.
have equal voting. Okay, or equal interest. So can you help us? Okay, and that person and that person has the final authority to go with the solution, which solution has to go. So once you get that solution, you document that solution, so that in future if
Okay.
that conflict again comes, you can use that document and you can resolve that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so like this you have to
Yeah.
answer.
All right. Yeah, that sounds great. How do you resolve the conflict? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, if okay, like you said you made mention of voting. So that
Hmm.
voting is it gonna be like in form of workshops or
Yeah,
is
in
it
the
a
form of
meeting?
workshop. Yeah,
Okay.
see, workshop is a meeting only. Okay.
No, right. Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
What is crude in SQL? Can you tell me the syntax to insert, update, and delete record from the table?
So what is CRUD in SQL? So CRUD is basically CRUD stands for create, read, update, and delete. Okay.
Okay.
And syntax, you can just Google it. Okay. Google the syntax.
Okay.
Okay, for insert, update, and delete. This is a direct question. You can Google it. You will get the insert, update, and delete records
Okay.
from the table.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know about SQL joins? How many types of join are there, and what are those?
Again, SQL, yes, you will say, yes, I know about SQL joins, and read something about SQL joins. Okay. So you have
Okay.
like you have cross join, you have inner join, you have left outer join, you have right outer join, you have full outer join. Okay. So these are the different types of
Okay.
joins. And what is joins?
Okay.
Joins is basically a technique or a process in SQL where we combine two tables, okay, and we get data from these two tables. By combining two tables, when two tables share a common piece of information between them, so we can use join and we can get data from the consolidated data from those two tables. That's why you do joins.
Okay.
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 But
Okay.
read it properly. Okay. So these questions, it's not BA related, it's SQL related. SQL was mentioned, that's why I have prepared the questions from SQL perspective. Okay. The interviewer might ask you, test your SQL knowledge. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, do you know SQL joins? Yeah, you answered that one. Consider there's a table, people with column as first name, city name. Can you write the SQL query to find out from which city, what is the total score in your opt? You should display two columns, city and total score.
Okay. So, yeah, do you know SQL?
Yeah, I don't really, I'm not really sure about it. Yeah, but I think this is they are basic questions, isn't it? Yeah. Like select from where. Yeah, well, I can't. I'll have
Okay,
to read
consider there
about
is
it
a
then.
consider there is a table. See, SQL you have to prepare. Okay, if you're not prepared. Okay, because
Okay.
see, I have framed some question, but that doesn't mean these questions will only come. Okay, because if you don't have an understanding of SQL, if they twist the question, you'll not be able to understand. Even if we discuss this question, this is not the exact question that will be asked. Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
so you have to take some understanding of SQL, just basic understanding. Like from here for this question number 33, consider there is a table people with column as first name, last name, city score. Can you write a SQL query to find out from each city what is the total score? Now I know SQL, okay, so I can give you the query, okay, but that will not help you, okay, because you don't if you don't have the understanding of the SQL, you will not be able to. If the
Yeah.
question changes, you will not be able to answer. So like here, I will give you the example answer. In your output, you should
Okay.
display two columns, city and state, city and total score. So select city, comma, total score. Okay, sum, select city, comma, sum, bracket score from people. Okay, where
Okay.
find out from each city what is okay. Okay, select city, comma, sum score. Okay, from
Mm-hmm.
people grouped by city. So this is the answer.
Okay.
But you will not understand. I have written the query in my mind, but you will not understand. Okay.
Yeah, I'll go and read about it.
Yeah. Try to read something and then try to attempt this question. This is a SQL question.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Like
that's
again,
fine.
question
Yeah.
number 34, I will answer. Consider there is a table states which has column first name, last name, company. Can you write a SQL query to display the records where first name starts with S and last name ends with S and company ends with LLC? Now, there is a keyword called like in SQL. Okay, using a like keyword, you have to write this SQL code. So, if you don't understand like, you will not be able to understand the answer. I can give the answer. Like answer will be uh, select star from states where first name like inverted commas
Mm-hmm.
s percentage and last name like inverted commas
Okay.
percentage s and company like inverted commas percentage LLC. Okay, but you will not understand.
Okay.
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 Now, how do you find unique records in the table? Using distinct keyword. So there is a keyword called distinct in SQL. Okay.
Distinct. Okay.
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 So
So how
that
do you find you?
using that, yeah, using distinct keyword. Select distinct the column name from table name. This is how you find distinct keyword records.
Okay. 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 Then, what are the different ceremonies? Can you briefly explain each ceremonies?
So
Yeah.
yes,
So.
sprint planning meeting. Yes, correct. Daily stand-up meeting. Yes, correct. Then you have sprint review. Correct. And then you have sprint retrospective. Correct. Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Whatever you have written over here, that is correct.
Okay.
But you have to remember this in the interview. I don't know if you have referred the internet and written. It should be there in your mind. Okay. So
Okay.
revise it.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and I will apply it to my
Hmm.
last project.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. How can I apply that? Can you give me just give me an example
So
how
you
I
can say
can
that
say what?
in my last project we were following agile methodology, and I connected with customer, understood the requirement, I created the product backlog, and then I did the release planning, and then I started the sprint. So the sprint started with a sprint planning meeting in which the scrum master was also there and the development team was also there, and then
Okay.
I disclosed the product backlog. Whatever you have written here, you have to say like you have done that. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. That if you can just yeah. Okay. Okay. That's fine. All right. Yeah. What's the difference between products backlog
So product
and
backlog,
sprint?
sprint backlog. So I explained you product backlog is the list of all the requirements that you have gathered from the customer in the forms of epic and user
Okay.
story. And sprint
Hmm.
backlog is the user stories that will be done by the development team in that
Development.
particular sprint.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think what
Okay.
you have written is not correct. Okay. What I have said,
They're
you
not
have got
correct.
correct.
Oh,
No,
okay. All
sprint
right.
backlog, what you have written is not correct.
Okay. That's fine. How does a product owner prepare a product backlog? What are the epics, features, and
Hmm.
user stories?
So the
So,
first thing is start with prioritizing the backlog, the personal systems
um,
issue, personal design, everyone review the backlog. Now here the question is, how does the product owner prepares a product backlog? So after gathering the requirements, the product owner prepares a product backlog by writing epics and user story. That should be the answer.
or is it the product owner that writes epics and user story?
Yes,
I
yes,
thought it's
yes.
is a BA.
No, see, in Scrum or in Agile, there is no role called BA.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That's fine. So what are
And
epics?
that is correct. Whatever you have written, epics are large bodies of work that can be broken down into a number of smaller tasks. Like, but give example. Okay, examples are not there.
Okay. Okay. So like an example of epics, like login, Abi,
No, login is
login
not an
function.
example of epic. No, no, no. So
So what could be an example? What can I use?
just
Like if
just
I'm
just a second. Just a second. I'll mute myself.
Yeah. Ah, see what? You have somebody did this. Is that how can you put ice in the water in the fridge? Yeah, if you are cold ice. You go. Don't scream. His nose. His nose is tripping me. I'm just gonna keep this out. Oh, to oh, I'm to be born. Yes, you're ready. As in,
Yeah, hello.
yeah.
Okay, so where we were?
Okay, so we are here now.
Yeah, so epics, I told you have to give some example of epics user story and acceptance criteria. You have to come up with an example. Okay, so either you can
Yeah.
take it from your LMS or in your last project. Okay, so epics are the large bodies of work. Okay, now you have to see.
Okay.
I see sign up. No, sign up can't be an epic. Login can be. So is this your company thing?
Yeah, that's where, and I did a training, a business analyst training. So this is one of the documents
See, actually,
that was for.
actually, login and password. Okay, so these examples don't take. Scroll down.
I,
Are there any
I should not
good
take it.
examples? No, 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 no. Sign up and login. Okay, you can take this file management download files. That is, this is an epic. You can give this example. That file management
Okay.
download files was the epic, and this is the user story. Was it? So take this example. This
Yeah. So
example is
okay. So why is login not an epic?
login. No, I'm not saying login is not an epic. Okay, I'm saying login is not a good example to give in the interview
Oh, right. Okay. 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 Why?
because
Why?
that's
If I may ask.
why I would say, because it looks like that those examples are available on the internet. If you type
Oh, okay.
examples of user story, you'll get login user story on
Okay.
internet.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now I
That's the reason,
understand. Okay.
nothing else.
So file management should be a good example.
Yeah.
So okay, that makes sense then. Okay,
Okay.
then stories is the breakdown. Yeah, of
So
Abby.
stories are the user stories, whatever you have written.
Yeah, the story. Yeah, I want to be able to as a user, as a this. Okay, and then yeah, so features. So features are high level
Hmm.
because I think I'm kind of confused here. So
Hmm.
what's
See, actually,
so
the sequence of this epic user story and features are in this way. Epics first comes epic, okay. After
okay?
that comes features, okay, and after that comes the user stories. So user stories are the most granular level, okay.
Right. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so okay. So yeah, so in this case, like on this document, what will I say would be the on file management now? So what will I say would be
See,
the
Epic will be
feature?
your file management upload remove file, and feature will
Okay.
be you can say that um, there will be a section or an on the type on that particular screen on the type on the top right hand corner. There will be a upload button, and there will be a
Okay, upload file. Yeah, okay.
submit
Yeah.
button. Okay, so these are the features. Okay, you
Yeah,
will
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
No, I
bullet
understand.
points you
Yeah,
write,
yeah. The
and
button.
then we will
Okay.
break down those into user stories.
Okay. All right. And the acceptance criteria. So
Yeah, so is there
can
any
you give
acceptance
me a
criteria for
yeah,
that?
so yeah, there's acceptance criteria here. It
So
says the
simply say that.
ability to upload and remove audios, ability to upload and remove videos, ability to upload and
Hmm.
do you think that makes sense?
Yes, that makes sense. That makes sense. But it can be
Okay.
written in a better way. You can say, you can write in this way: this user story will be accepted by product owner when, point number one, the pitman staff have the ability to upload videos. The pitman staff sees a upload button. The pitman staff
Okay.
like that. Okay, you have
All
to give
right.
the
Okay.
pointers. So acceptance criteria basically are from uh, are the criterias on which your product owner will accept that user story, or the condition or the criteria
Okay.
or the parameters where your user story will be considered as completed. Okay, so
Okay.
that is acceptance criteria.
So who does the acceptance? Who determines the acceptance? Is it the developers or
It is for developers also and for testers also.
yeah, what I mean is that am I the one who's gonna as a BA? So I'll be the one to determine the acceptance criteria. So I just want to understand that that area. Like, okay, if I determine the acceptance criteria, will I have to check with the developers to know if it is a good one or not? So I
No,
just
no,
want to
no, no, no,
understand.
no, no. You don't have to ask for developers. The acceptance criteria you have to write as a BA,
Okay,
because
okay,
you know the requirement. Okay, so for that requirement, what all should be the criteria? Okay, for an example,
okay,
login. Okay, so when the login will be accepted, when it will be considered as
okay,
done, when there are fields like when there are fields to enter the username, when there are fields to enter the password, when the customer sees a submit button, on clicking the submit button, the credentials get verified by the system, and if the credentials are correct, the customers get a success message or see the landing page. If the credentials are incorrect, customer will see a error message. So all those things you have to write in the acceptance criteria.
okay, okay.
Okay,
That's fine. Yeah, noted. How do you write a user story? What are
that is already
acceptance
covered.
criteria? Who writes?
Yeah, that is already
Who write
covered.
the acceptance criteria and how is acceptance criteria written? Yeah.
Okay, that
So,
I already
who
explained.
writes? Yeah, who
Product
write
owner.
the acceptance criteria and why? So, product
In
owner.
order, yeah, why I have already answered. In order to accept the user story, or in order to find out when the user story will be considered as completed, and for the testing purpose. Okay, we write the
All right.
acceptance.
Okay. Okay. So, what is velocity? How is it calculated? What is bond down chart and bond up charts? Yeah, I need help with that. Could you please help me with that? Sorry, my little boy is here.
No problem.
Okay, so velocity. Hmm, are you there?
Yes, yes, I'm there. Yeah. So what is velocity?
Hmm, Um, velocity. I know this. It's normally used to calculate on to do calculation on how many user stories that will be executed in a sprint.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm not too sure.
No, that's correct. So
Yeah.
velocity is basically uh, uh, to understand that how many user stories the team picked in a sprint and how many they were able to deliver it in the sprint. Okay, for an example, five I picked up, okay, in the sprint planning meeting, and I was
Okay.
able to deliver only three. Okay, so what is the velocity? Okay, it's 5 by 3. You divide it. Okay, so which
Okay.
comes around 1 point something 67. So when we calculate the velocity, we understand that we we estimated that we will do 5, but we were able to do 3. So our speed is
Okay.
little less, our velocity is little less. Okay, so in the next sprint, when we will pick the user story, we will not pick 5. Okay, we will see the estimates properly, and according to
Okay.
that only we will pick up the user story. We will not pick a high
Okay.
number. So that is how velocity helps you, the team, to understand.
Okay. So as the BA, will I be the one to determine the velocity or the product owner or the Scrum Master? Scrum Master.
So basically is the product owner. Okay, so if there is no product owner, business analyst.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. So how is it? What is burn down chart? Burn up chart. Yeah, I
So
can
have you
look
heard
up
about
to
burn
that.
down? Have you heard about burn down chart and burn up chart?
Um, I've heard about it, but I read about it, but
Hmm.
that's not recent. Yeah,
Mhm.
so can't. I don't really touch it.
So a
If I
burn
can
up
explain.
chart is basically burn down chart and burn up chart are basically to check progress of the uh, project. Okay, basically.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so basically in order to monitor the progress, okay, how your project is progressing. Okay,
Okay.
you basically create this chart. Okay, so burn up means the chart goes upward, and burn down means the chart goes downward. So burn down chart
Okay.
basically it shows the amount of work remaining in the project. Okay,
Okay. All
how
right.
much
That's
work
fine.
is remaining in the project, so that chart shows. Okay, it comes down that this much work is remaining. So you started with 10 features, suppose 10 features were there.
Okay.
Okay, and you completed 5. Okay, so how many are remaining? 5 are
Okay.
remaining, so the chart will come down. Okay,
Okay.
so first
Okay. That's
it started with 10, it was at the top. Okay, then it came down. Okay, because you are completing it, so it shows that how much task is left in the project. Okay, so that is burn
okay.
down chart.
Okay. All right. Then one last thing. Have we talked about backlog grooming
Backlog,
with
see, backlog, yeah. So backlog grooming, first you have to understand where does it come. Okay, so when the product backlog is created, okay, when that is created, okay, once the
okay.
product backlog is ready, so after that the product owner conducts a backlog grooming session or does a backlog grooming. Okay, backlog grooming means keeping your backlog up to date. Okay, so it's not a one time
Okay.
activity. Okay, it's a
Okay.
continuous activity. Okay, like suppose your backlog is ready with 100 items, 100 user stories, but after few weeks, after few sprints, customers are coming up with new requirements or new changes, so you go and
Okay.
update your backlog accordingly. Okay, or for an
Okay.
example, there were 100 features, 50 of them are done, so you go and update the backlog that done status, you upload as done or update as done. So you
Okay.
always check the backlog, okay, on a continuous basis, and you update it and you keep it up to date. So that is product
No.
backlog group.
Okay. 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 So yeah, as the BA, I can do the product backlog grooming with the
Hmm.
product owner, isn't it?
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. So could you walk me through the project that you've done in your last organization, and briefly explain what was your role as the BA,
Mhm.
what was your roles and responsibility, and how did you contribute? Yeah,
Okay, so
so
can
my
you
this is my own.
so you have, see here, you have to explain your project. Okay, so basically, what was the project about? Okay, you have to mention
Okay,
that. Okay, what was the project about, and which domain that project belonged to. Okay, and what did you do in that project as a BA? What did you do? Okay, so you
yeah,
can
can I
say
can I
I.
quickly can I
Hmm, hmm.
quickly run you through what I wrote?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so you just let me know if there are areas I need to improve or not. So so the project, my recent experience involves me working. The project I worked on, I was hired as a BA for a major company in the educational field. They were struggling with transitioning into more of technology-based products post-pandemic. So they were previously classroom-based courses and wanted to move to online courses. So I was hired as a BA to manage the move. I initially conducted a series of interviews, workshops, site visits with key stakeholders to understand the company's existing process as is and gather high-level requirements as to what they wanted the future system to look like. So after holding the workshops and interviews with internal and external stakeholders, I translated business requirement into technical requirement using UML use cases diagram, process maps in Visio. So I developed detailed user stories and acceptance criteria as to what the new online platform would look like, validated this requirement with the business, worked with UX designer and developers to create solutions that meet this requirement. To speed up the development, I created a series of wireframes, otherwise known as mockups, using Basami Cloud for the developers to work on. To work on. Yeah, so I organized and participated in daily stand-ups, weekly catch-ups, and project meeting with the senior stakeholders, and present, dealing with senior stakeholders and project meeting with senior stakeholders. Sorry, I'm mixing it up. And project team to communicate the project status. Yeah, to communicate the project status. Sorry, let me take that part again. Organized and participated in
Mhm.
daily stand-ups, weekly catch-ups, and project meeting with senior stakeholders and project team to communicate the project status. So I provided user guides for users to follow the new processes. So the creation of the new learning portal allowed the business to increase its margins by 32%. So they no longer needed classrooms to service their courses. As a result, their gross profits increased substantially. So that
Hmm.
was
Okay,
that was
okay,
what
it is fine. No, no, it is good. It is good. I think you have explained it properly and covered all the BA keywords over here. Okay, what I was expecting. It's fine. It's
okay.
fine. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay,
Mm,
uh,
hmm.
so do you think there's anything I should include that I haven't
No, no, no. This
done?
is this is fine. Keep it short only. Okay. Don't
Okay,
stretch it much. Okay. I think whatever you said, whatever you have written, that is fine.
okay. So sorry, one more thing. So if I'm being asked up by the interviewer, yeah, to tell them about myself. Yeah,
Hmm.
so is it like the experience. I mean, I'm thinking someone advised me that I should just put my recent my recent role. Yeah, the
Hmm.
experience, the project I did in my recent roles. Then
Hmm.
the other roles that I just have to like summarize them.
Okay, you are asking no, when they ask you, tell me about yourself, something like that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, so you should. So I'll tell you in this. You should basically start with your name. Okay, and
Okay,
you can say that your total year for experience. You can say, and you can directly jump into that. I'm working as a senior as a business analyst in this
okay,
organization, and my last two companies were this, so I have total this much year of experience as a business analyst. I have worked on these domains. Okay, and that's all. That's
Okay.
a small introduction you have to keep. You have to give.
Okay. Not okay. All right.
Okay,
Okay,
not
that's fine.
apart from this, don't give any other details. Okay.
Okay, so I don't have to give my project detail,
No.
like the
Project
project.
details, no. Tell me about yourself. Don't give your project details. When they ask you about your project, you can walk me through the project. Then you have to give your details.
Oh, okay, okay, okay then. That's fine. Okay, I was thinking I have to like tell them my recent experience and okay. All right, that's fine. Okay, so let's move to the next one. What what are data visualization tools you've used? When and where have you used it in the project?
Hmm.
So
So
yeah, so I
you
think
have see these are the CV questions. Okay, that means whatever CV you sent me. Okay, so I
yeah,
frame these questions. So you mentioned data visualization tools.
yes, good. It is well. Okay, so data visual. I know the Power BI, Power BI tool
Hmm.
is used for data visualization. Yeah, but I think I'll have to read it up.
Hmm.
Yeah, to know
See, that's why
to
that's
know.
why whatever you mention in the CV, each and everything you should be aware of. See how I caught this. Okay.
Okay. So do you have
Hmm.
any idea on how to go about that? Or
See
like
what
just
all
give me a
data visualization tools you have used. So you can say, see, Tableau and Power BI are the popular data visualization tools. Okay, and when and
okay.
where you have used it in your project. So you can say that in the LMS, you can give the example of LMS, and you can say that
Mm-hmm.
the requirement was to build the dashboards. Okay, so
Okay.
for the dashboard, I basically using Tableau, I created and I mean the dashboards presentation. Okay, how the dashboard should look like. So I use Tableau, and there I use Tableau. Like that, you have to say.
Okay. Okay. So sorry. So that Tableau and Power BI, what's it meant for? Is it for creating dashboards or?
Yeah, it is for creating dashboards, Tableau and Power BI.
Oh, okay.
It's not only
All
for
right.
creating dashboards. Okay, there are a lot of things under Tableau and Power BI, but mainly they are for visualizing the data in different manner. Okay, in the charts, in the manner of charts, in the manner of graphs, in the manner of
Okay.
bar diagrams. Okay.
Okay. So does it integrate with the system or how
Yes,
does it
yes,
work?
yes. It integrates. You can easily integrate Tableau with any application. So you have some
Oh,
application where
right.
all kind of data are there. You can integrate Tableau with it, and you can get all those data in the Tableau, and then you
All
can
right.
prepare your
Okay.
dashboards. But you see, you have
Okay.
mentioned this, so read something about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'll read it. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So yeah, what's all UML diagrams you know? So which tool have you used to draw UML diagram? So I know UML diagram. We've
What all
used
UML diagrams you know?
I know of use cases,
Okay.
use case
Use
diagram,
case diagram. Yeah, use case diagram. And what else?
use case diagram, process maps, is it?
Process maps are not UML diagrams. So I'll
It's
give you the
BFPM.
Yeah, I'll give you the UML diagrams: use case diagram, class diagram, activity diagram, entity relationship diagram, data flow diagram, okay, sequence diagram, context diagram. So these are the UML diagrams. So read something about
Okay,
UML diagrams, okay,
okay, okay, okay.
and which tool you have used. So you can say Visio I have used. You have used Visio, no?
Yeah, yeah, Visio. Yeah.
So you can say
So
Visio I have used.
we used draw.io
No, you
for
can
my
say
project
I
during
use
my training.
draw.io. You can
Okay.
say you use draw.io.
Okay. All right. That's fine. So where do you write a user story in
In
Jira,
Jira.
and how do you tag a user story to an epic?
Okay, so the reason why I mentioned this question is because you have mentioned Jira in your CV. Okay, so I want to test whether actually you have used Jira or not. Okay, so that's why I'm asking this question. Okay,
Hmm.
so basically, uh, so how do you write a user story in Jira? So in Jira, you go to the create Have you used Jira first of all? Otherwise, you'll not understand whatever I'm
I've
saying.
only used Jira for writing reports. I mean defect report. Yeah,
So
but I've not, when I was a
you
tester.
understand how the Jira looks like.
Yeah, I understand how it looks like.
So
Yeah, so
there is a
but
create button at the top. Create.
yes, yeah, create user
Yeah.
story. Okay. Yeah.
So when you click on that create, you get different types of issues. Okay, issues like it can be epic, it can be story, it can be task, it can be defect, it can be bug. You get all those options in issues. Okay, so you select story
Okay.
from there, then you give a, summary of that user story. You mention the description. In the description you write the user story. Okay, you write the acceptance criteria, and then
Okay.
there is an option over here, option below, to tag to an epic. Okay, or link to, issue linked to. There is an
Okay.
option called issue linked to, so you can link that
Okay.
to an epic. So this is how you tag a user story to an epic. See, if you say
Okay.
these things, I mean, uh,
Yeah.
basic,
I'll read on.
the interviewer will understand that you have used Jira.
Okay. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. I'll check how. Yeah. So how do you link a Confluence page into Jira and vice versa?
Hmm.
So I know Confluence is a collaboration tool.
Hmm.
Yeah, where we store like document, update document, version control.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
So
but
how
I'm
do
not
you use
sure how.
Confluence is basically a documentation tool, a collaboration tool where you create different type of documents in Confluence. And how you can link it to Jira? You just basically you have to copy the link of the Confluence page, whatever is your page. You just copy the link. And how to copy the link? There is a share button at the top. You click on share, and you get the link option called copy link. You copy that link. You go back to your Jira, and in the Jira,
Mm-hmm.
there is an option to there is an option to link, option called link to Confluence, link a Confluence page. You click on that and you
Okay.
paste that link over there, and you click on submit. The page gets linked. This is how you link.
Okay. Okay. All right, that's fine. Thank you. Okay, so in Fleet Check, you mentioned that you have created mockups. Which two? Which two
You used to create mockup.
you used to create mockups? What did you do after creating a mockup? Yeah, so yeah, I've created mockups. With the tool I use for creating mockup is Balsamic Cloud.
First time in cloud. Okay.
Yeah. So what did you do after creating the mockup? So in my last role, so
Hmm.
I for the developers and the stakeholders to have a better understanding, to have to
Hmm.
see the, I mean, to have a better understanding of the look and feel of the
Hmm.
system, the graphical user interface. Yeah, to have
Okay.
a better understanding of it. So I created mockups in Balsamic Cloud. I
Okay.
presented it to the stakeholders
Mhm.
and the developers to make sure that the developers, I mean, to make sure that the developers they are building, I mean, they are building the right system, the right
Mhm.
product. Yeah,
Okay.
and also to validate, to ensure that the stakeholders validate it, so they see how the system looks like, and if there's any area of area where
Okay.
we
That's
can
fine. That's fine. That's fine.
rectify.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's fine.
does that make
Fine.
sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay, so
Hmm. What
what
is
is
UAT? So UAT we have already discussed. It's user acceptance testing. You mentioned that you have conducted UAT. So could you walk me through how was the UAT session conducted? So you can say that there was a UAT environment, okay, prepared by my development
okay?
team. So I conducted a workshop, okay, where my stakeholders were present, and one by one I opened the requirement document, and one by one I showed them all the requirements. Okay, so this is how you conducted UAT.
Okay. All right. So in the UAT environment, right?
Yes, yes.
Also, okay. So could you walk me through the key achievements mentioned in your resume? Yeah, so the key
So
achievements. So I think the key achievement, the first one is the Alexander McLean. So where I led
hmm,
and supported the development and implementation of the LMS, including migration of 800 plus students onto the new LMS with an improved user experience, which saved the business over 150K in a financial year. And so walk me through the key achievements. Yeah, because the business, they were classroom based. Yeah, and they wanted to move to online based. So I came in as the BA to online courses. Yeah, to online based courses. So I came in as a BA to manage the move. Yeah, so I took requirements from the stakeholders and ensure that the developers, they implemented the I worked with the developers to ensure that they implemented the system. It's the system that is fit for purpose, and this actually led to the migration of the I mean led to the implementation of a new LMS, which is cloud based, that saved the company £150
Okay,
K
that's
in the
that's good.
financial year.
That's good. I just see this is just uh, I would say extra question that the interviewer might want to understand your key achievements. Okay, that's why I included this.
Yeah, so like what are you expecting me to say? Like
No,
what are the key
what so key achieve see whatever you mentioned in your resume, okay, in your CV, whatever you mentioned. So I just want to understand actually what was what was exactly the achievement, okay? I mean, how did you help the business, okay? So from what was your contribution? So that we wanted to understand. So see, it's simply whatever you wrote in the resume that we have to answer. That's all.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Um,
Okay.
so yeah. Um, I'm so sorry. So I think I have one or two questions to ask.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, sure.
if you don't mind. Okay, so I just want you to elaborate on this. Like, if I'm being asked by the developer, by the interviewer, okay, my business analyst skills, like what, like I know the skills a business analyst needs to have a good communication skills, but I'm just looking for ways on how to how to how to put it in a star technique. Yeah, like
So what
I
is
don't
the
know if
question?
okay, like what if if the interviewer should ask me that, what am I bringing on to this role?
Hmm.
Yeah, or what skills do you have as a business analyst that will make you successful, that make me
Okay.
successful in this role? So I just
Okay. So
need
see,
to
see
answer it.
this question cannot be answered using star technique. As I told you, every question can't be answered using a star technique. So here the
Okay.
interviewer wants to understand what all skills you have as a business analyst. Okay. Although you have mentioned everything in the resume, but the interviewer is looking to summarize, looking for a summary. Okay. So
Okay.
you can say that as a business analyst, I have uh, both the soft skills and the core skills. So first, I would highlight few of the core skills that I have as a business analyst is to understand the business problem objective, okay, and
Okay.
to elicit the requirements from the stakeholders, okay, to analyze the requirement, to document the requirements, okay, to manage the requirements, okay, to explain the requirements to the technical team, okay, and to
Okay.
test those requirements. So these are my core skills as a business analyst, okay. And if you
Sorry,
know
did you say
SQL,
core skills or soft skill?
yeah, core skills. These are the core skills that I'm saying,
Okay.
okay.
All right. Okay.
And if you know some tools like draw.io or data visualization tool, or you know SQL language, so you can say those things also, that these are the skills that I have, okay. And with
Okay.
these skills I have brought success to my previous organizations. I helped the business
Okay.
in these ways, okay. So I believe that using these core skills, I will definitely contribute in my upcoming role, okay, as I have contributed in my previous roles, okay. So you have to
Okay.
say like that. And then you can say
Okay.
then to mention the soft skills I have as a business analyst, I have a good communication skill, Okay, and when I say
Mm-hmm.
communication, both listening and uh, both verbal and non-verbal ways of communication. Okay, I'm good in
Okay.
that. I have a good problem solving skills. I have a good decision making skills. I have a good analytical skills. Okay, and I have a good leadership skills also. I'm good in managing my time, work, resources. Okay, so these things you can say. These are the skills that I have.
All
So
right.
divide your skills in core and soft.
And core and soft. Okay. All right. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, and the last one, third party stakeholders. Yeah. So I mean, who are third party stakeholders? Like, if they should ask me that, okay, how
Hmm.
would you manage your third party stakeholders? So I just need
Hmm.
an example on what to say. Like, I know
See,
third party stakeholders could be suppliers, Abby, or
no,
regulators,
no.
isn't it?
First, what is your question? Who are the stakeholders?
Yeah, who are third party stakeholders? Maybe in my project.
Okay,
Yeah,
third
then
party stakeholders. Okay, third party stakeholders. Okay,
yeah, third
okay. See,
party. Yeah, third party.
okay. So third party stakeholders are the stakeholders who are external to your organization. Okay,
Okay.
it can be any supplier, vendor, as you mentioned. Okay, someone who is uh, supplying something to you. Okay, that supplying something to your organization. So that becomes third party.
Okay.
So in your project, were there any third party involvement from any external involvement?
I think the third party. Yeah, so in like the LMS project, yeah,
Hmm.
so but so some of the options I mean I presented to the business was I getting an AWS cloud
Hmm.
system.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, so for
So
the
yes,
yeah,
so that
so
AWS becomes your third party stakeholder.
okay, okay. So like how will I yeah, like the communication and I just need a practical example of how I can like say it
So you
in
can say
maybe
you can say that if whenever there was any issue coming with related to AWS cloud, we were reaching to the AWS cloud team or something like that. You can say this is
okay,
how you're
okay, okay.
interacting with those stakeholders. Or if you need to
Oh,
integrate something from AWS, if you were not able to integrate something into your application, so you were trying to
okay.
reach it. Okay, so those kind
Oh,
of things you can
yes,
say.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Ah, you are a star. Thank you so much. Thank you so. What other services do you provide apart from interviews?
So apart from
Oh,
interviews, I conduct BA trainings. Okay. So
oh,
what
okay, okay.
whatever things we discussed in these 3 hours, okay, yeah, all
Hmm.
these things are covered in my training. Okay. So whoever attends my
Okay.
training, these things are covered. You can attempt any interview.
Wow.
Okay. So
Okay.
trainings are
Oh,
there, interview preparation is there. I create resumes also, and
wow. You
yeah,
create resumes as well.
yeah, I create resumes
Oh,
as
that's
well.
great. Wow. Wow. You are a
So
star. You are a
if you
star.
get if you have any contacts or something like that, you can share my profile to them, or
Oh, sure,
you can.
sure, 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 sure. Yeah, 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 yeah. You're really good, really good. Thank you so much. So how will I get this recording? Can I send you my email? Like
No, no.
because
So what I will do, I will share the link of this recording. So once you click on the link, you will be able to see the recording, and you have to download the recording in your machine. Okay, you can download
okay,
it in your machine.
where will you share it? Where is it on what where?
WhatsApp, I'll share.
I need to know.
WhatsApp, I'll share. I'll share on WhatsApp.
Oh no, I think do you think it's gonna make sense on WhatsApp due to the I don't know.
You don't open WhatsApp in your computer, in your system.
No, 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 I don't have WhatsApp.
Okay, I'll share on email. Okay, share, ping me your email
Yeah, yeah,
ID
I
and
think
I'll
you should
share.
send on email. Yeah, yeah, I'll share it to you on WhatsApp now. So please
Okay.
check. Yeah, please send it to me then. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Thank you so much. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No
So
problem.
I'll give you the feedback.
Sure, sure.
Yeah,
So once
yeah,
your
yeah,
interview is
yeah.
done, then tell me what happened. Okay,
All right, all right.
and
Thank you so
I
much.
all the very best. Okay, I hope you come with flying colors. Okay, you come with a good positive feedback.
All
Okay,
right, all right,
and
all
just
right. I
prepare. You
will.
have one more day. Okay, so prepare whatever
Yeah,
we discussed.
yeah,
Go through these 3 hours
yeah,
recording. Okay,
yeah, Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
just be confident. Okay, just be confident, and don't think
Okay,
about the result. Okay, don't think about the result. Okay, just focus on your preparation. Okay, and
okay,
how you are answering the questions. Okay, remember
okay, okay.
give
Sorry, one
examples.
more thing. And so one more thing. So like what would you advise like if someone is preparing for interviews because I'm new in the BA
Hmm.
word. Yeah, so is it good to cram or do you suggest I should just understand the keywords and put it in stories?
I think
Yeah,
I
because
think a couple of days back I wrote a post on LinkedIn where I prepared a small document on how to prepare for interviews. Okay,
okay,
so you can refer that, or you can share with anyone who is
okay.
trying to prepare for it. That will help them.
All right, that's fine.
And I
Thank you so
explained it
much.
properly. I explained it properly that how to do that.
All right then. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for your time.